you know what? That sounds wrong, so I'm just going to move on from there and say welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Woo!
Woo! This is also, not only is this our 405th podcast, this is our first podcast in our brand new setup. Over the past weekend, we came in here and we
renovated.
We pretty much tore this room apart. And
I was telling Nick that when I walked into Brad's house and I looked back into the room, I'm like, hot damn, that room looks professional. Like
it does.
Just like looking into the room.
The room officially looks more professional. Brad,
we still got a few extra chairs that need to go, but
we should auction off those chairs.
Also,
does anybody want to buy some chairs?
We farted in them. So
like a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a second.
What?
I don't want to ship these couches. That's gonna suck.
What if we took a chainsaw to them and shipped pieces to people?
Oh.
That could be cool.
Oh my god, people could like have little commemorative pieces of the old podcast
and
chairs,
then
like it was the Berlin Wall or something.
Yeah, and then they bring it to like PAX events and they can assemble the chair.
And then we can sit in them.
No, I would imagine they would be like in a little blister pack, like card or something like that.
Oh, okay.
With like a number of like certification.
Yeah, I guess that would work.
Well, so how do you like the couches, guys? We're sitting on couches.
This is nice.
Yeah,
for the first time, we're sitting on couches. I feel a little more relaxed.
There's
I have
big
my
TV setup here.
We have
It's
a
not
giant.
distracting
so
at
chat
all.
can't. So obviously, if you're watching live, you can't see it. Some of our patrons already got kind of a peek at this.
A sneak peek.
A sneak peek. We put a little vlog up over the weekend where we were showing ourselves.
How did that come out?
Pretty good. I mean, we had grand plans to use the GoPro to like do like a time lapse of us putting the room
Oh,
together.
did y'all have to scrap all that?
Apparently, it stopped recording during a very pivotal part of the process.
Not during the couch contest.
During the couch contest.
But did y'all
Well,
scrap
Nick
it?
and I won, so
Yeah.
Did y'all
don't you worry.
Did y'all scrap it completely?
Brad unplugged it.
Is any bit of it there?
I don't know.
I don't know. The point is, the vlog turned out fine. We got some stuff. People got a good look at it.
Completely scrapped that part.
Yeah.
I'm glad I brought over the GoPro and set it up in a corner with a nice angle and recorded a bunch of stuff.
It's good practice. By the way, can I take that GoPro with me to Disney World?
Sure.
Sweet.
That's not why it was actually the overheating that killed the recording, at least during the pivotal moment.
I thought, did it overheat while we were doing the couches?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
The unplugging came
The point
Guys,
is-
hold on. I'm going to ask chat real quick. Have y'all ever had issues with GoPros overheating for no reason?
Yeah, it overheated.
dude,
like,
that got scary.
It got hot.
it was like hot potato. We're
Yeah.
like, feel this.
It wasn't a corner,
It wasn't a corner, but still, I mean...
but
Dude, I mean,
normally the heat would...
So the corner blocked the fans and the GoPro from going
No,
on?
it just bounced off and...
think of like
Chain reaction.
like a tray of brownies. All the heat condenses.
You
in the
solved the
corners.
world's energy crisis, Nolan.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. Before we get it, we obviously have a lot. Oh, but what someone says, what is between Nolan's legs? Oh, that's your water. This is a water bottle.
What do you care, creeper? I also like that foxy manly man's the one that asked that.
That is true. That is true. So this also, for those of y'all at home, obviously the TV is kind of something that doesn't necessarily obviously benefit you guys, but it does because we can actually watch chat and comment on gameplay footage in real time, which is kind of nice.
It is.
So that'll come into play later when we're playing footage and talking about stuff.
It makes these discussions a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. Although it's still kind of freaking me out because it looks like the TV is floating in midair.
Yeah.
It does.
Because it's mounted on the Bonnie wall.
Yeah.
Bonnie wall. We had to drill into Bonnie's face.
We did. We drilled into Bonnie's
Why
face.
doesn't somebody take a picture and tweet it?
Because we're not supposed to have our phones on the show.
That would have been a good idea.
But I'm gonna go ahead and allow it.
I'll allow it.
We're gonna tweet our view from the podcast here in just a moment. So keep an eye on our Twitter account. Are you gonna tweet it from yours or the 4Player?
4Player.
At 4Player Podcast. So check that out. But anyways, before we talk about video games, i.e. Bloodborne, which we're also going to talk about Axiom Verge, because Brad actually got an early copy of Axiom Verge. He's been playing through that. And Pillars of Eternity, among a few other things. But I would like to open it up. Has anyone seen any movies lately?
I watched Big Hero 6 finally.
How was that?
It was pretty good. The problem is Bernadette gets really mad at me because I can predict the most minute things that happen. Like, the problem is I would say something right now, but it's kind of like a spoiler.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
I don't want to spoil anything.
Just
But, yeah,
spoil it.
Brad, you saw it, right?
Yes.
At the end with the hand, remember?
No. Oh, where he shoots it?
No. Well, that doesn't spoil anything. The chip in the hand.
You're about to
green
spoil
chip.
something, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that coming.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
I saw that coming.
I mean,
I even
maybe.
told Bernadette.
It's a kids movie.
Maybe I don't
Oh yeah,
know.
Not, like,
that's the thing.
super
Is
deep.
usually
Like-
like Disney movies are so goddamn predictable.
Oh.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but it's just, and that's the thing. She's like, well, why do you even watch it? I'm like, well, I can't predict it if I don't watch it. It's not like I can be like, Big Hero 6, this happens.
Did y'all get a big throwdown fight over Big Hero 6?
No, it's just mainly just because I've seen a lot of movies. Like Brad, I worked in an industry related to watching movies. And I worked at Hollywood Video for like 2.5 years or something like that. And then for a year and a half afterwards, my old boss still gave me free rentals. And so I've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there not a whole lot of movies surprise me anymore. Which is why when a movie does, I like it.
Well, you know, I saw a movie this past weekend.
Oh,
Crispy
yeah.
did too. And Brad saw it too. On Friday without us.
Oh,
I
you
did.
went- oh yeah, It Follows.
We went and watched It Follows.
That was a pretty. You know, it wasn't like I don't normally watch horror movies. Part of the reason why is because sometimes I get really scared with horror movies. Like I am susceptible to horror movie fear, unlike Nolan.
Yep.
As am I. Also, I was a little surprised I went and saw it too because I live alone and I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it just
But it wasn't that scary.
no,
It really wasn't.
It didn't freak me out in the same way that something like the original Paranormal Activity did, or
like The
The
Ring.
Ring, or
Yeah.
whatever. But it definitely made me feel uncomfortable. And the more I think about that movie,
It's
the more I
good.
realize it is a straight up warning about STDs.
Oh well,
Really?
Just straight up.
dude. When we
the
were watching it at
ghost-
the draft house, all the videos they were showing beforehand were like old, like STD, like
Yeah, but, like,
abstinence propaganda.
when I first saw the trailer for It Follows, I kind of thought it was set up. It was just kind of like the setup, and that like the sex didn't really play a major role after the initial like the guy tricked her by having sex with her and passing the ghost onto her. I didn't know.
Wait, what? Like the ghost? It's an STD ghost?
the
it's
ghost-
like
it's a-
whoever that person has
a
sex
metaphor,
with gets
Nolan.
cursed.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah.
literally a metaphor for STD.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
that
yeah,
movie's
it's-
not like jump scary,
No,
but it
it's
is
creepy.
creepy.
Yeah.
And like it can get under your skin. And that night after I saw it, I was having a hard time going to sleep. Like that,
Well,
like it is a really cool like thing that
It was
follows
definitely like a really well
Made
made
horror
And the
well
thing is, like a
shot
lot of
movie.
people like
honestly, I think it's a classic.
there are a lot of people
Polter
who
crabs?
there are a lot of people who like read the synopsis because I posted a thread
Poltercraft.
after I got back from the movie in the forums, and some people were like, "That sounds really stupid," just kind of based on the synopsis. And yes, when you read it, it sounds kind of
It's
stupid
kinda
on
goofy,
paper,
but-
but the movie is filmed
Wait,
really.
how many
really
times
well.
did the ghost get passed on? Just the once?
I don't want to.
Yeah, that's spoiling.
Several
We can't
times.
spoil
Okay.
it.
several times.
Is there like an orgy where like the ghost is like, God damn it, and keep getting passed
No.
on between people?
There's also some ambiguity on a certain parts where you're like, did this person pass it or did they not?
But that's
Because
what's
the
cool.
way it works too is like if the ghost gets somebody, like whoever the ghost's like current target is, if the ghost gets that person, then they just start working back through the line. So sometimes you don't know. Wait, what's happening?
Nothing.
So it's kind of like. So they think they pass it on, and all of a sudden it shows up
And then
again.
it's
So
back,
I guess
yeah.
it got the person that she passed it to.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. It has a really cool sense of like it has a really cool sense of like it has a set of rules or whatever that it kind of follows pretty strictly. But like
Pretty-
outside of that, there's like
pretty
there's
ambiguous.
no explanation.
Yeah.
But there are some really weird details that I kind of picked up throughout the movie that kind of made me feel really like curious as to what it's actually alluding to because
Dude, watch that movie again.
There's
There
a lot of like people's naked parents.
Yes.
Which is
that like straight up like,
Which is,
like
like,
the thing is
weird.
it's a ghost that can shapeshift, so it makes itself look like
A
other
dildo.
people,
Oh.
so it can try and get close to you, and
Uh-huh.
it only walks, it never runs or anything like that. So
Yeah.
it basically the setup is that the ghost will once you're cursed, it'll wherever you are,
It's
the
just
ghost is
constantly
somewhere and it's
walking.
constantly walking in a straight line directly at you,
Yeah.
and like.
Only you can see it.
And
Yeah,
only you
nobody
can
else
see
can
it. No
see
one
it,
else can
yeah.
see it, but
Dude,
it changes
and
itself to look like other
I think
people.
the ghost can only see the people that it's like trying to hit.
That's
or
not
like
true.
just trying to no, because there's a few times in the movie where like okay, so there's like a part where like somebody's like shooting at it and the ghost keeps like doing this like in its direction but like can't find like where the guy is to like knock the gun
See, I
out of
didn't
his
even
hands
notice
or
that.
whatever.
What's cool is there. Oh, okay, yeah. There's just it's just it's the cinematography. Like there's just so many
it's really
cool
well
like hanging shots where you just see people walking.
I think it was really
And
well,
like the camera doesn't focus on them necessarily.
Yeah.
But they're on camera and you're just like,
And every time you see
is that it?
there's always like someone in the background just like walking at a steady pace, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like,
One of the coolest was when they were at like
the beach.
No. When they were at the university.
Oh yeah.
Like
what the fuck is this? Last of Us Beach University?
Wait,
What's
wait,
going on?
no, they go. Yeah,
It wasn't like. The first time you see it,
Oh,
I'm guessing a lot of people don't even catch it, but it's almost like it materializes out of nowhere because you see it's walking, but it's like a foot away from like the wall of like the outer university. Like the first time you see it on screen,
like it just came out.
Like
the
it just
window
came
or
out of a brick
something.
wall or something.
yeah, like it came out of nothing. And you just see a person walking away, and you see that, and you're like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
That somebody would just be
over there.
would be over there walking in that direction like that. It gets under your skin. Like that movie's creepy. And there's stuff that if you pay really close attention, I noticed like there was a part where it was in the form of a kid, a creepy looking kid. Towards the end of the movie, when they're in the neighborhood, that kid just rode up on his bike in the frame, and it's like,
that
dude.
kid keeps showing up like a lot of places during the movie, and they
Yeah.
never address why.
They don't explain it.
Yeah.
Like I like when a horror movie, they show not tell, which I think this game does. I mean, this movie does a good job of.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of horror movies like we need to get down to the bottom of what's the origin of this thing. Only then will we defeat the curse. It's just like let's bring in an expert. It's just shit. You know, like and there's a lot of stuff that's unexplained, and I feel like you need that.
Yeah.
And it's the unending, the unrelentless. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street. No matter what, you're eventually going to go to sleep, and that's what makes it creepy.
No matter
Again,
what, you're eventually gonna bang.
I'm talking about the first one, and that's what this is like. It's like the only way you can sleep is to get in your car, drive like across the state, sleep, and then
do it again. Like
and that's fucking cool.
You have to keep moving.
That's cool.
It's cool. I would highly recommend it. It's one of those things where a lot of people are kind of writing it off because they think it sounds really dumb, but believe me, it's a really
works.
cool
And yet,
movie.
It does break windows, but that's what makes it so cool and classic because you have this moment when they're in a house, which you don't want to be in a house.
Yeah.
And like you hear a noise.
Yeah.
And it's like that's like a classic horror thing.
And then suddenly,
that is still exists in this universe. That's like, well, shit, because it's like a zombie,
Yeah.
It's just like
it's like
you have these moments of like where you kind of along with the character realize like what it's capable of, and you start to kind of like learn how it works as the character is, and that's pretty cool.
it's like the implication of like never being able to really stop.
yeah.
Like you don't really think about it at first, and then when you realize it's like they have like these lull moments where it's like they've driven across the country and they're like safe, and then all of a sudden it's just there,
And
that's really cool.
I'll say the scene. But
Is this the It Follows podcast?
Well, yeah.
It's in the
We've
trailer.
been talking
so-
about this for a long time.
It's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. But like when they're like having like a sleepover because she doesn't want to be alone, and like when you hear like a knock at the door and like it's me, and then like she opens the door, like that's a cool.
No, that moment.
That's so freaky
Yeah.
because it's like that's what I would do if I was a It Follows ghost. Yeah.
Anyways, that's It Follows. We all most of us here in the room saw it, and I would, even if you don't like horror movies.
Good job, Nolan. Way to be a team player.
If you don't like horror movies, or maybe if you're more like Nolan and movies don't scare you, I say it's worth seeing, even if you're just.
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Like whether
We
it
also
scares
saw
you
it
or
on
not.
a Sunday evening
Yeah, I know. That's true.
in like 60 miles from my house.
I know. I'm just saying. Anyways.
But
Video games.
I mean, this is a video game topic. Earlier, Checker was streaming.
Chris Hecker.
Chris Hecker, developer of Spy Party. And I went and I checked out his stream, and he was showing off one of his new maps, which is in like a pub.
Yeah.
The pub map.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Yeah, it looks cool.
It looks really cool.
There's
and
like a street corner.
Yeah, you're like people hanging out right outside the pub, which I guess most cities you probably can't drink right
Maybe
outside the
most
pub.
I don't know if
cities.
this is like in Europe you can do that.
Yeah, maybe, something like that. But yeah, like one of the, I mean, not recently he added the ability to purloin the guest list from
list.
Toby,
Yeah.
the waiter, but the waiter's no longer walking around because it's a bar, so he's behind the bar.
you have to
So
go
you
up
have
to
to
the
go
bar.
up to him and get it. And the thing is, you can see the guest list in his pocket. And so if all of a sudden someone goes to him and then leaves and the guest list is gone,
You're like,
they
"Ah."
probably did it. But you can now delegate someone and be like, hey, go get this guest list for me. And they'll go and do it. And
Oh,
they'll go and
really?
get it.
That's fucking sneaky.
Like, you can
Yeah.
get, like, an NPC to go grab it for you?
Yeah. Or you can watch an NPC and they go up to Toby and then they leave. You go up to that NPC and then you go get the guest list. And it makes it look like the NPC told you to do it. So you can play some fucking mind game. Like, oh my god, I had a lot of fun like just watching it. I was
Games getting
right,
crazy.
How much more is he going to add to this?
and yeah, and I was talking to him while he was streaming. And I was like, Chris, it still says very early development at the top of this game. And I remember September of 2010 when I played this at PAX Prime. It's been, 4.5 years. Is that still very early development? Maybe just drop off the very.
He's not ready.
But
Yeah.
early development.
He's not ready to let it go yet.
Yeah.
Pretty early development.
All right. So we are a little bit under an
Constraint.
unusual time constraint this week because of
There's a bomb on a bus somewhere.
circumstances.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
why don't we go ahead and jump right in? Do we want to start with Bloodborne because that's kind of the game we've
Sure.
all
That
been-
most of us in this room have been playing. Brad.
everybody looks at Brad just what
Well,
the fuck, Brad?
Wait, so you haven't started yet, huh?
No.
So you actually resisted the temptation. You did a whole day of Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah.
He did.
An
He
entire
did.
day.
I checked in the morning when he started, and then I checked when I got off work, and he was still playing.
It doesn't hurt that Pillars of Eternity's
Good.
also a pretty good RPG.
Is it?
So
Have you... Oh,
bumped
we're talking
my
about
mic.
Bloodborne,
I'm
though,
sorry.
right?
We
Yes.
are. We'll talk
Okay.
about. We'll let Brad talk about Pillars of Eternity in a moment. I am curious about that game, although I probably, I don't know about that game. Anyways,
Okay.
Bloodborne.
Yeah.
This game's pretty
Dude, I
good,
played a shit ton
guys.
of this game.
So I'll tell you what, like,
Not as much as Jaeger, though.
no, dude.
So what
the
is he
fuck?
on? New Game Plus 3?
Probably.
So
Jesus
here's the thing.
Christ.
Like, I started this game. This is my first Souls game that I'm playing pretty seriously. Like, I started.
Didn't you say that about the last one?
Well, I said that by Dark Souls 2. I've already said
And
this a
then he
million
stopped
times.
playing Dark Souls.
But I'm planning on playing it again once I get the PS4 version. We all know that.
Okay.
Anyways, so Bloodborne, like I've played this about 12, 15 hours at this point. I'm moving at a slower pace because I haven't really played these games before. But goddamn,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the hooks are in and they're
Yeah.
in deep. I love this game, and I can feel myself getting noticeably better as I go. Like I'm getting to the point. Like this is the first time in a Souls game because I played like 12 hours of Dark Souls 2. This is the first time ever. Like that first area where you start, where the footage is showing right now.
Yeah.
Like it took
Central
me
Yarnum.
a few tries, like getting used to the combat, getting to the area with the fire,
Yeah.
the fire pit or whatever. Like the other day I got an item and I was like, I knew exactly where to take it. I got the brooch.
Okay,
the brooch.
yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna take it back to the little girl. So I have to go through that area again, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck it. I just ran through and I was just wiping the map with that play. Oop, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wiping the map
So,
and I had
guys, just letting y'all know, we might hit our mics a couple of times today. I've already done it twice.
We're getting
just
used to
because they're at
this.
different angles than
Yeah,
normal.
we're getting
Yeah,
used to it.
it's-
And by the way, these mic stands that we're using, these are our old ones and we're waiting for new
This
ones.
is the last time we'll be using these.
Yeah,
We're getting
so
nicer mic stands.
we're
Mix is all taped up.
Mine is taped up. It's fucked. Anyways, I went through that area after playing for like 15 hours again, and just like it was no longer like I didn't feel. It was like I felt challenged.
You weren't
'cause
as scared.
I was not as scared. I went through with total confidence and wiped the floor of that place and got to that point I was trying to get to with ease.
So that's gonna happen. You're gonna get more confident, and then you're gonna go to a new area, and you're gonna be just as scared in the new area.
No.
I promise you.
I
Because
just got to the cathedral ward.
And then,
Okay, yeah.
And then you're going to get to a certain point in the game where after that point you go back to that first area and you're like, this is easy, but they leveled everything up. And you're like, fuck, all over again.
I got to the cathedral ward and then started walking around. I saw a few of those dogs, and those dogs are fucking packing a punch now.
Yeah.
Holy
So
dogs are assholes.
there's hunters in this game.
Yeah.
Like they look like humanoid guys, and they're really fucking aggressive.
I'll tell you what
and
though, I fought my
fast.
first one last night.
Yeah. In
Didn't
the
hit-
cathedral ward area.
Yeah, didn't hit me once.
Really? Wait, which one? The one with the mace?
Oh,
was
the
it a
big,
mace?
The big tall dudes?
I walked
No,
towards
not the hunters. They look like NPCs.
yeah, fuck those guys. Man, fuck those guys.
I'll tell you what. I think I lucked out. I think I do better against humanoid enemies than I do against like
So
beasts.
have you fought the one that shoots at you?
No.
All right,
That's
wait,
gonna suck.
wait for that.
That's
Wait
gonna
for
suck.
that. NPCs have no stamina and they have no ammo limits. So
And
have
they
fun.
abuse
What is
it.
up with that?
They abuse
Yeah.
it like crazy.
But yeah, so like I actually went back to some other areas because I was running low on blood vials, and I was like, you know what? I know this area has a lot of creatures that give me blood vials. Let me just do a couple of blood vial runs to stack up on my blood vials. And they spawned some hunters where there didn't used to be, and that surprised the fuck out of me, and they definitely ganked me because I didn't even know that was coming. But then I went back and I took them out just because I now knew, because it's one of those things where, like you were saying, you get comfortable with an area, you know where the enemies are. I mean, that's one of the things that was frustrated me about Bloodborne is I remember when they first talked about the game, they were saying, oh, you know, AI will have pathing, they won't just stand still. Now that is true, AI doesn't always just stand still, but they always do the exact same path at the exact same time. Like you trigger their pathing, and so it is very predictable what happens. And so when they fucking threw that little monkey wrench in there, I didn't see coming. But I mean, that's the point. Man, what? Anyway, I am loving this game. Like, especially so. One thing you'll learn, Nick, is sometimes you'll get access to areas where you might not supposed to be. Yeah. Like enemies kill you really quick. Yeah. And then you might get into some like item runs.
Usually take that as a sign.
So like, I found this one area and like things were like not one hitting me, but pretty close. And so I spent all my souls, so I had like 30 souls on me, and just run past the enemies, you know, run through the area, ignore them, looking for items. Yeah. Because then you might get items that are like higher level than what you maybe should have, and that makes the game not honestly easier, but it's just like you have a better item now, and you can spend your money on that item instead of a lower level item. I got this one, you know, that NPC right
of the Grand
Cathedral with the mace thing. Yeah, I got that mace.
Yeah, it's in the Hidden Village.
Oh my god, no, not in Hidden Village. I got it somewhere else.
The one with the
I got it somewhere else.
Like when you go to the Hidden Village. Like, if you get kidnapped and put in that jail cell...
Oh, is that the Hidden Village?
Yeah.
Okay, then there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I got that mace. That mace is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Did y'all know that you can actually get a set of armor that makes you look like the doll?
Really? Oh, yeah, I did see that somewhere. I thought you just had to, like,
Emily sent me a
kill
picture
the doll or something.
No, Emily sent me a picture of it. It looks ridiculous. Yeah.
I saw like, a male character wearing it. Yeah. I was like, ha.
But I, just last night, I think I defeated my 7th or 8th boss.
I've only fought 2 bosses so far.
I mean, so the thing is, only like 2 of the bosses I fought have been like mandatory, really. Maybe 3. Yeah. Because like it just seems like there's a lot of them.
Why would you want to skip bosses? The bosses are so cool.
Well, yeah, bosses are cool. They usually give you good drops, or they give you access to other areas and stuff.
Do you get really good blood echoes from bosses?
I still call them souls.
I've completely...
No, you don't, Brad. Yeah. Bosses, I've noticed, will sometimes drop... what?
Well, I was saying most of them that I fought just did souls. I guess, like...
they usually drop some sort of an item of some sort.
Like Vicar Amelia, she gives you like a little pendant that you can turn into a blood gem.
Yeah, so a lot of them will give you, and I don't say a lot, but I mean, I know at least some will give you gems. Items that you can turn into gems, and gems are what you can put on your weapons. The weapons have sockets, which you can do stuff like increased attack. I got one that regenerates my HP over time. I got one that raises my attack by a shit ton, but it depletes my HP over time. So when I'm walking around with that weapon out, my HP just constantly goes down slowly. Yeah, but the thing is, it adds like plus 20 to my weapon or something. So that adds.
So it's like put it on like a backup weapon as like a situational
and so that's what I did. I threw it on a weapon, and I had that as my secondary. Yeah. And then I went to a boss fight, and then whipped it out. And so just quickly trying to kill the boss while my HP is going down.
Just went to a boss, just whipped it out.
These load screens.
Oh man! Yeah, so the load screens are the worst.
It's like, why did they?
And we talked about it last week.
I think they patched it, didn't they? The patch today. I think.
Oh, so the patch that came out is supposed to increase load or decrease load screen times. Yeah. But that's our argument, Crispy. You weren't here last week. Was they need to have more than the word Bloodborne?
No, yeah, like they used to always do item descriptions. Even in Demon Souls, they had like key art, like different art you could look at.
One of the examples I came up with last week was fucking Dragon Age Inquisition. The amount of fucking content that's on loading screens in that game is ridiculous.
I never like read any of that.
It was like too much
in the beginning of the game when I was still like excited, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna go back and read these books and everything, and then like
no, of course not.
After like 10 hours I was just like, fuck that. But yeah, staring at Bloodborne for 5 minutes is a little annoying.
I wonder. I wish I would have timed it.
Well,
And just the amount of time I've looked at that screen while I played this game.
I think From Software has even acknowledged this and said that they are thinking about patching
Something
that
else.
stuff in.
Oh, really?
But who knows? By the time they put all that shit together, the game we might be done with it. I mean,
because that was the cool thing about like the other Dark Souls games was that sometimes you would see like a late game item in that loading screen. You'd be like, "Oh my god, that's a thing that exists! I want that!" And then you'd like be on the lookout for it.
So Chris
you know?
Davis says the game received a patch today.
Yeah.
Fixing the
really?
game. It fixed the game breaking glitch
yeah,
in
the
the
game
Forbidden
was
Woods.
supposed to be.
So actually, I
Hidden
had
Forest glitch?
I had done the boo boo before they did this patch, but it worked for me still.
Oh.
Like it didn't affect me.
You lucked the fuck out.
I think it affected less people than.
It wasn't like 100. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like
100%.
everyone getting affected.
I know this is really off topic a little bit, but they still haven't patched that fucking game breaking glitch in White Knight.
Really?
The one that I haven't gone back to play because they haven't patched it yet. They're just like,
Are you still stuck? Is it like a
yeah,
retroactive?
I can't load. I mean, the only thing I can do is start a new game or
Well, that's the
reload
thing
like
is,
a really
do
old
they
save.
know about this glitch?
Yeah.
Oh,
They,
okay.
like
I remember you talking
the night
about
that I tweeted
it. Yeah.
They tweeted back at me telling me to watch a YouTube video to help tell me how to get out
You know
of
what?
it.
Cry me a river, guys. I'm playing an Obsidian game. An Obsidian game at launch.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's definitely
yeah.
a true
So
fact.
it's definitely completely
Um,
stable, right?
Yeah,
We'll talk about
So
it.
one of the things
100%
I had talked about when it came to Bloodborne was, and it was also my complaint with Dark Souls 2, was that the pathing and the areas aren't as intertwined as they were in Dark Souls, and that's one of the things I loved. Was you would go somewhere and then you'd come out and all of a sudden you'd be back on a different area that you'd been before, and a lot of the areas in Bloodborne are kind of almost ending in dead ends.
Really? I mean, I feel like
because
this-
you're not super far yet.
Yeah.
But like have you been to Hemwick?
Yeah.
Hemwick ends in a dead end.
Well, Hemwick's a optional area.
I know. So there's a lot of optional areas, but they're all dead ends. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of like branches that don't connect.
That sucks.
And yeah, it does.
Because Dark
And
Souls
then-
always found like cool ways to
Exactly.
like link back to like Fire Link and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean-
and that's the thing I love. There was like at least 3 or 4 ways to get from somewhere else to Firelink Shrine.
Yeah.
But so I was playing last night, and I was in an area, and I found a tiny like fucking little hole off to the side, and I go through it, and there's this area, and I'm probably not supposed to be here, and I get through it, and I find a ladder, and I come out of a grave. And I'm back at the fucking entry of the game, like where you spawn, like they're full
Oh, that
fucking
where you
circle.
first come out of the hospital area or the
clinic.
the clinic?
Yeah, well, not the clinic, but behind. You know when you leave the clinic and there's a gate that's locked from.
Yeah,
I found that side.
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
The little graveyard.
That's
So
crazy.
so it does. There is like you can walk from point A all the way to fucking make a big circle.
Dude, I
so
love
they do
that.
have more than that than I thought there was.
No, like last night I was playing and I was in this area. You know, it's been hours since I've even been back to like Central Yarnum, and I was in this area where I came over like a balcony, and I was looking out, and you're just looking, you're like, oh, that's really cool, like backdrop there, and then I'm looking, I'm like, wait, that's the fucking Great Bridge, that's the
yeah.
shortcut from the Central Yarnum like lamp, and oh my god, like I just love how it's got that Dark Souls thing where it's like pretty much anything you can see, that's a place you can go, you know. It is still like really.
And speaking of lamps, there are so few compared.
Oh my
Well,
god!
they're
So, like-
most of them are tied to either bosses or get it when you first enter like a brand new area. Right?
Correct.
And
And
that's
so-
one like Demon Souls.
Yes.
Dark Souls 2 especially had a lot of.
And so that's the
campfires.
thing is
Yeah.
like so that was my problem with Dark Souls 2 was there was fireplaces everywhere, but then you just fast traveled everywhere, and there was no point in kind of
Yeah.
looping back and stuff.
Remember what a like amazing boon that was like halfway through Dark Souls,
Dark Souls.
to get the fast travel. You're like, oh my god, I didn't even know there was fast
Oh my
travel in
God.
that game,
Yeah.
and then I got it.
What's
I'll be
up?
honest, I don't usually agree with Cody the Dragon Dude, but what he just said is so true.
What
He
did you say?
said, Bloodborne is the closest thing I will ever get to a Nightmare Creatures reboot.
Oh.
This game does feel like Nightmare Creatures,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
obviously it plays a
You
hell of a
didn't
lot
see
better.
you didn't see the early like
and
comparison.
so the Jaeger's point was actually what I was trying to get to with my less lamps. There are less lamps in this game, but there are more shortcuts in areas.
Yeah.
Like you'll find like locked doors that you can if you go through half the area, it will open back up to the entrance, and so then if you die and spawn at that lamp that took you, half an hour of traversal,
Yeah.
you can get right back to where you were earlier.
I feel like that's more satisfying.
And I think
than
it
just
is.
get finding another campfire.
And I think it definitely is. There's one thing. There's less places you can fast travel to.
Yeah.
And most areas that I've noticed have, depending on the size, a lamp at the beginning and a lamp at the end. And you're getting through the area, making it easier is getting a part way through finding a shortcut.
Yeah, I still think the best level design in any of these Souls games was that Boletaria, I think it's called, in Demon Souls, that castle area, in like the subsequent acts that followed, or the subsequent levels that followed in that area, because like it had that really smart doubling back, unlocking shortcuts, and that stuff kind of went away. Even in Dark Souls, it was more kind of like spread out.
Yeah.
So there's something I kind of wanted to bring up, and this is I'm having kind of a unique experience with this game, aside from the fact that this is really my first Souls game that I'm really getting serious about. But I'm playing this, and my girlfriend's playing this at the same time. She's never played a game like this before, but she went into it knowing it was going to be difficult. But we have in our hip chat we've created a Bloodborne chat room because we're all talking about Bloodborne on a pretty regular basis. We got Jaeger and Chai Tai in there, and we're talking about it all the time.
Why am I not invited?
Because you don't fucking play Bloodborne.
That's true.
Go back to Pillars of Eternity.
You get an invite once you
start. We try and stick away from spoilers, and the spoilers we get to are the person who's behind the most. That's where we start talking about spoilers.
I tend to avoid the room myself.
Well, yeah, because all of us are farther than Nick at the moment, and we try not to spoil anything. But sometimes we just kind of get excited, and something slips, maybe.
Yeah, but so she's never played a game like this before. So we're kind of like, I spent like most of my time on like Saturday and Sunday playing this game, like communicating with her, and just so when she started this game, she was really kind of like overwhelmed at first, and I was trying to explain, like, you got to get that first piece of insight. Because you can't level up your character. You can't really progress in any real sense until you get your insight.
Yeah.
But you have to get through that first area and get to the first boss fight, unless you happen to find one of those Madman knowledges or Madmen knowledges. But the easiest way is just to make a beeline for the boss room and walk in.
Madman knowledge.
It's the
called a
equivalent
Madman's
of
humanity.
What's the thing from Dark Souls 2 that you use it and it gives you humanity?
Oh, human effigy.
Human effigy. It's the equivalent of a human effigy.
Yeah, they didn't have humanity, but yeah.
Well, no,
yeah. It's
in Dark. I still call them souls and humanity, because it's the same fucking thing.
So, like, some of the concern, like the little, like, kind of, like, weird things that stuck out to me before we played this game, was when they were talking about the lack of like any sort of like hollowing or anything like that, any penalty for dying, and the lack of weapons in this game. And now, having played for about 30 hours, like I feel like those 2 points are completely invalid now. Like the lack of penalty you'd think makes it easier, but I don't find this experience any easier at all. All that's really done has made it more viable for like suicide runs to get like, also, if there's like a nice set of gear, like a nice weapon up ahead, you can run for it and you don't lose as much. Except,
also, less swapping of accessories and stuff. Like, remember how often you'd have to swap rings because I'm alive or I'm not alive.
Yeah, you would always be like swapping what you want to use when you're alive and dead. Yeah. And so I will say there are fewer of everything in this game. There's fewer like armor sets. There's fewer weapons.
I have
but
a question about that.
They all matter.
Yeah, they all make a difference. They're all quality. And I will say every weapon is so different from. And when playing Dark Souls, there are definitely unique. The claw versus like a saber are gonna act differently. But in this, every weapon I think is very unique in how you use it. It has a different style, and you have to learn what you want to do.
And it's really 2 different weapons.
Well, so that's what I was going to say. Every weapon that you have is transformed, so it acts differently once you transform it. And so I have 2 weapons with me right now. I have a spear and that mace thing. The spear is definitely for fucking poking if I'm trying not to get close to somebody.
Is it the gun spear?
Yeah, the rifle spear, which I fucking love.
It's all about that cane, man.
Yeah.
That thing's so fucking cool.
And then the mace, which is when there's an enemy who's maybe slower, or I'm not as afraid of them hitting me once or twice.
That thing wrecks shop on those big cleaver dudes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's so good for dealing with those.
Hey, by the way, Chai Tai, this is not my footage. This is not my footage.
Who cares?
Anyway,
I have a question.
What's
I have
up?
a question. is this less of an RPG than the Dark Souls games, than the Souls
No,
games?
absolutely not.
It's like it is like
Is there less Okay, let me rephrase that. I prefer Elder Scrolls to Fallout.
Okay.
I prefer Elder Scrolls to Fallout because I feel like there's so many more spells and equipment and stuff that I feel like I can create a character that's like way different from another character on a subsequent playthrough. I have more options. So to me, that's what makes it more of an RPG. While my Fallout character is not going to be that different than his. We might use a different gun, but it's all shooty shoot.
Well,
and maybe he's a little more stealthy than me. But like, in Dark Souls, you could have like very different fucking characters from each other.
Yeah.
A dual-wielding nimble dude in Dark Souls is like way fucking different than like a super heavy armored like dude with the shield versus like someone flinging magical spells and different or like miracles and
I think in that sense,
hexes.
I think we have
Okay.
different definitions of what's going to define it more of an RPG. Than,
Well, based on
So
my
as far
definition,
as-
explain
sure.
So as
Bloodborne.
far as equipment variety goes, if you're thinking of that one article that was getting
But there's
passed
more
around
than
like
just
a week or two,
equipment.
well, that was one thing you said.
Okay.
Let me talk.
Yeah, let him talk.
If you're thinking about that one article that was talking about finding 6 weapons in their 40-hour playthrough, I've already found more weapons than that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
definitely.
there is more. It's not like you're never gonna find another weapon. Now that being said, I am still using the cane, which is the weapon that I started with because I've been leveling it up and I really like it.
Yeah.
I think each of the weapons is very distinct, and any weapon you find, basically, if you want to invest in building around it, you can do that.
Sure,
They're all viable.
I think that's a good point. So, like I said, I found several different weapons. I found what was the something's whatever, holy something, whatever. It's a sword that's pretty quick, and then it transforms into a giant fucking hammer, which is really
Yeah.
slow. But then I also found some
yeah,
daggers that are really
Kirk hammer.
quick, and so it depends on what you put if you level up. Your arcane versus your skill versus your strength, that will affect the weapons. Because in Dark Souls, like Dark Souls, the weapons scale based on your abilities, and so
So my question in that case would be like, I get it. I know there's very different weapons. There were in the Souls games too. My question is like stats wise, like how different could a character how different are y'all's characters in terms of stats?
I will say they're probably similar, and I will say unlike the Souls games, there's less items. There's no like magic items and stuff that cast spells and stuff like
There's
that.
just fewer magic in general.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of
less
magic at all.
In
this
fact,
game.
there's less there are going to be less builds focused around range in general. Like every character has a ranged ability, but it's not going to be that character's focus. Now, from what I understand, there's a gun later in the game that actually does a shit ton of damage, but it costs 10 bullets to fire it once, and your character carries like
novelty.
20, 30 bullets
It's a
at a
novelty.
time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to use, but if you do fire it, it just completely wrecks shop.
Yeah.
So there's more characters. All of our characters are primarily melee characters. Now those weapons that we're using might dictate that we play melee in a slightly different fashion.
Yeah, the style of melee is going to be different.
But it is more focused on forward momentum and quick action.
It sounds like a lot of these weapons are similar in the sense that they might have a mode that's faster and weaker, and then they can shift to a longer range or stronger or
almost
slower.
every weapon, I say almost every, is when it's not transformed, it's quicker than when it's transformed. But usually its transformed version is for wider attacks.
Yeah,
almost.
no.
And it's not even necessarily some of the weapons don't even necessarily get stronger when you transform. That is pretty much for some of those weapons just a change of movesets for dealing with different situations.
But I mean, no matter what, you're going to be dodging.
Yes.
You're going to be using your gun to riposte.
Yes.
And you're going to be, transforming
Melee.
your weapons based on
Yes.
whether it's a situation that calls for quick attacks or slower, stronger attacks, right?
Correct.
So in that sense, does it feel more like what you initially thought Bloodborne might be versus a Souls game, more of just?
You mean
feel
when we were talking very early on about when I was kind of paranoid
I know
about
it's
this
not
just
Devil
being-
May Cry or anything, but does it play?
There's still enough
Does
there's
it feel
still
more about
enough
skill than
management.
build?
There's still enough management of. Okay, so I'm spending a lot less time worrying about armor in this game. I'm kind of just wearing whatever feels cool.
Which is weird to me, I guess. I mean, is that how you were in the Souls? Like, why? What about you
Eventually,
guys?
in the Souls games, I would eventually get to a point where I didn't care because I'd level my character up so much that I would just kind of wear whatever I wanted to wear. But in this game, I feel like that kind of started earlier for me. I feel like it was all just, hey, that coat looks really fucking cool with this hat.
I will say this: there has been at least one instance so far, and like I said, I've only fought 2 bosses, but where I went back. First of all, this is kind of a miracle that I made. I made it all the way through the first boss before I realized that I could already buy new armor from the
fountain.
Yeah. So I was still wearing just my base outfit.
Well, I mean, you'll find armor in the world as well.
It took me 10 tries to beat the Cleric Beast, which is the first boss of the whole game. And then I got to the Father Gassion or whatever, which everyone was talking about being a really hard boss. And I see why it is hard. I went with the faster weapon, Brad. I went with the cane, the one that you started with. It's a little bit weaker, but you have more range, and you can also slap when you switch to a short range form. It can attack a lot faster.
Yeah.
And I went into that boss against Father Gassion, and I fucking wiped the floor with him. It only took me 2 tries.
Do you think that's because the boss is more like a Virgil from Devil May Cry 3?
That boss is kind of.
I also had just finished retool. Like I went there and I retooled my character. I bought him all new armor, which made almost all of my stats jump up pretty significantly to from what I had before. And I went in there a lot more confident, and I ended up winning on my second try.
So, Brad,
to
answer your
Philip
question,
Kohler uploaded a video of him beating a boss on his first try, and he still got criticized.
Oh yeah,
about the
I saw him talking about that earlier.
Well, you could have done that first try boss better.
Yeah, they're like, great job beating that boss, but this is how you should have done it.
Yeah, Brad, to answer your question, it is not as diverse as the Souls games prior to
but
this.
I think that means what you think.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's not. There aren't as many options, but I still think you're definitely going to play the game differently than other people.
I will say this, and this may be a turnoff to you, Brad. I hope it's not, because the game is fantastic.
I'm sure it is.
But
I'm sure I'm
kind of witnessing firsthand, not only for myself, but watching my girlfriend play at the same time. This game is absolutely, I think, built to be a little bit more accessible. Not in that it's toning down its RPG elements too terribly much, but like the emphasis is a little bit different. The combat is definitely maybe emphasizes action over like minute stat.
I mean that recovery system alone makes that almost a necessity to be more proactive with combat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Brad?
Go ahead.
We'll talk about more Bloodborne next.
Yeah,
sure. Okay. I never get to finish my story earlier because this is just one thing that I've noticed.
Gaston.
Well, no. I mean, when I was talking about playing with my girlfriend, she's playing for the first time. I'm playing for the first time, and I had already gotten to the Cleric Beast or whatever, and she was just starting, and she was having trouble getting used to the combat because she's never done it before. So she was having a really, really hard time, and she was getting to the point where she was like, "I think I might just trade this in. I don't like this," because she couldn't get past that first area because she wasn't familiar enough with the combat. But I said, trust me. And she didn't also kind of grasp that concept of the shortcuts, like how the world is interconnected.
Yeah.
I essentially via text walked her through, got her through that area, directed her all the way around to that first shortcut back to the lamp.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my god, that like changes everything.
Yeah, definitely.
And then 5 minutes later, she was in the room with the boss. She died on her first try, went back to the hub world, leveled up her character for the first time, and ever since that, she's been fucking obsessed with this game.
Yeah,
she loves it. Like the world is put together so well, and the mechanics are so kind of a little out of the ordinary. Obviously, it is a Souls game. It's not your average RPG. Things aren't explained to you bluntly, but like having someone else to talk to, especially, I think the experience that I'm having, I feel like I'm kind of having that same experience a lot of people had when they first played Demon Souls for the first time, and nobody really knew what the fuck was going on, because like it's just me and her, and that's most of my communication with this game, and we're both kind of like winging it, doing our own thing for the most part, and like it's been an absolute joy playing this game.
Yeah,
I fucking love it.
So
and I think a lot of people are trying to maybe kind of wish they could recapture that feeling of playing Demon Souls.
And I don't
for the
think
first
they
time.
will be able to.
I think,
but I definitely, unlike, I don't know. I'm enjoying the shit out of this game. That's all I'll say. It's hard as shit. It's just as difficult as Souls games before, but it's also just as fun.
Yeah.
One thing I did see, like some guy apparently beat it in 44 minutes or something like that. And so I was curious, so I looked into it, and he fucking did like a duplication of item glitch, so he had like a million souls. I'm like, that's not beating the game in 40 minutes. I thought he went through and fought the final boss.
That's
on,
beating
like,
the
at
game
level,
in 44
like, 10.
minutes while cheating.
Yeah, well,
Did he do the dupe?
yeah, he
exploit?
duplicated one of the do things, and so he got a million souls.
I heard you could do
and then he
that,
just
yeah.
leveled all the way up. I'm like, well, then what's the fucking point?
No, I mean that's the speedrunning community.
I
these
guess,
days.
but still, I thought I didn't want to see him do it because I try not to spoil, especially bosses or new areas. Because, like I said, new areas is the scariest thing. You don't know what the fuck's around every single corner because something could be, and that's where sound plays such a big role in these games. And that's why I always wear my headset, because you'll hear creatures making noise if you're quiet, and then once you have enough insight, the creatures stop necessarily making. Or the humanoid creatures stop making, then they'll say things.
Yeah.
They'll talk and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's why like having a lot of insight on you like allows you to like hear
So
things.
Emily told me that she discovered yesterday that werewolves can climb ladders.
That doesn't surprise me. A lot of enemies can
She was climbing up a ladder thinking she was safe.
Oh no, yeah. Ladders aren't saviors in this.
It's funny. It's funny you bring up that speedrun because I've been playing a game that has like a dedicated speedrun mode, and it's like I know that a lot of people are gonna like play this game, Axiom Verge. Play Axiom Verge.
Are we switching games?
Because it's very Metroid.
let's switch.
Real quick on the subject of ladders. If you haven't noticed, Nick, you have an attack while on ladders.
I haven't noticed that.
So yeah, ladders aren't safe. You can kick down and punch up.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So Brad, Axiom Verge.
Axiom Verge.
The speedrun analogy.
Mhm.
Speedrun transition.
Yep.
There's a speedrun mode in Axiom Verge because Metroid games were always like these games that were very much about, you know, the speedrun community and sequence breaking and get that item way before we were supposed to. And now this area opens up and this area opens up way before it should, and et cetera, et cetera. This game actually has a speedrun mode that when you start it, there's no cutscenes. There's a timer like right in the game, and it cuts out a lot of the fluff that would slow the kinds of stuff that annoys speedrun runners.
Yeah,
it was programmed
cutscenes.
exactly. It was programmed into the game ahead of time, like boss introductions and stuff. Just gone, which I thought that was really clever and smart. Also, in Axiom Verge, which is a Metroidvania, they do have these little like roguelike instances where you can find these secret areas that are different every time you play the game.
Oh really?
He made actual seeds for the speedrun mode, so they're always the same.
Oh, okay.
So he's developing his game with the speedrunning community in mind.
I mean,
Exactly.
a lot of developers I've been talking to lately about certain games. Yeah, they've been doing that because they know that if it's a game you can speedrun, people will speedrun it. And so yeah, having that in mind is kind of nice.
So this gameplay footage of Axiom Verge, of which I've been playing this game for the past week or so. I had an early code. But I kind of stopped at some point because I realized I wanted to play a bunch of this on the feed. I did record like all the footage that I have played of the game, like Let's Play style, so I can upload that if people do want to see me play the game.
So when it came out today, right?
It came out today, and it is a very kind of like throwback Metroid style game. I mean, it
Can you make that jump?
God damn it, Brad! Make the jump.
No, you can't make the jump.
Yeah, I didn't think you could.
It wears its love for Metroid on its sleeve, but it's not necessarily like Super Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wrote a little bit about this earlier this week, and the vibe I actually get from playing this game is a little more NES style, and I don't know if it's because this is completely new, because I do play a lot of Metroidvanias that I feel very comfortable with. Like, I'll get like an ability and I'll be like, oh, this is like this ability from Metroid, or this is going to allow me to get to these areas, just like in this Symphony of the Night or whatever. Mm-hmm. This game actually feels like I'm getting a lot of weird weapons and abilities that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
That encourage me just to like figure it out. Mm-hmm. And I think like the central like item you get, a power like ability, that sort of typifies this the best, explains this the best, is this glitch gun. Which you see that glitch ray
that
there.
What you're using?
That's that square ray there, right? You can shoot it at items. I mean, you could shoot it at creatures. You can shoot it at moving things in the environment, and it just does different
Cause
things.
it to do different things. Yeah,
Just
like weird out.
It just glitches out. Like some enemies. I guess the most basic thing it will do is like maybe like slow an enemy down. But sometimes it'll like turn an enemy into a platform that now floats up to the sky. You know, so you can previously get to areas that you couldn't get to before, or maybe you'll shoot at an enemy that's kind of bouncing around, like those things that bounce around when you're about to go fight Mother Brain and Metroid.
Yeah.
But now that you've glitched them, all of a sudden they just start breaking through blocks, like the environment, and you realize, like, wait a minute, like this isn't just like a tool for combat. This is a tool for exploration and finding secrets, and it doesn't explain any of this. It's just you got to experiment. You got to figure this out. I don't know what this is.
Does it get to the point where you're using the glitch gun on everything?
Yeah, you're using the glitch gun on everything just to see what it does. Like even on the environment, I found kind of like a part of the environment that was very hard to see. So I shot at it with my glitch gun, and out of nowhere formed a platform it's the kind of thing where you're like, wait a minute, all that stuff that I saw in the first couple hours of the game that I thought was just like nothing, or like just bullshit, inconsequential bullshit, like I'm gonna go back there because I think there's a lot more to find there than I originally thought.
Secrets,
as opposed to like your traditional Metroid game where you find a red door. Oh, I can't go through it, so I'm eventually going to find a beam or a missile that's going to get me through that red door. It's a lot more like organic and mysterious in this game, and that's why it reminds me more of like NES era games, you know, like stuff like Simon's Quest and the original Metroid, ones that are less kind of not handholdy, but just clear and obvious. And I really like just sort of the experimentation I've been the sense of discovery I've been having as I've just been trying to uncover the world. The vibe I get from playing this game is much more along the lines of a game like Fez, where I feel like progressing through this game is more about, you know, like it's so big and you have access to so many weapons, like it's just straight up secret weapons, like weapons that maybe no one else will find, because I found this one little wall here that I just was able to jump through. It was hard to get to, and bam, I found a whole new weapon that's not required. It's just there's so many weapons in the game. It's the kind of thing where you want to talk to people and find out what did you get, where did you find that.
A guesstimate of how many weapons you think are in here, just to kind of
like 30 maybe.
That's quite a bit for this style of game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the thing, because like this game is constantly subverting my expectations, and I have played a lot of games in this genre, and I find that really surprising. I wasn't expecting that.
I have a question for you, Brad, because you know I've been over the past few years, thanks to you primarily, I've been playing a lot of Metroidvanias, you know, more than I used to. I think I'll play Guacamelee. Is probably the more recent one I played. So in your write-up, you were talking about this. You were kind of saying this screams more like classic Metroid than Super Metroid, and it's less like games like Guacamelee and things like that, or Shadow Complex.
That doesn't mean
that I'm predominantly like.
That doesn't mean it's not. It's less user friendly, or it's like more like challenging necessarily. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to be able to like go back and play an NES game to be able to get through this. That's not what I'm talking about, like, at all, really. It's more just sort of the design philosophy that's different. It's still very modern in a lot of ways. Like, for example, when you die, you don't actually lose any progress. You just get sort of like recreated, I guess, at your previous save point. So anything you've collected up till then,
you still have.
You just kind of trek back there. You
know
know
what I mean?
Save
point right there.
Yeah, that's a save point.
That's weird.
So which that is like very modern, because you don't have to worry as much about death as you would in you know some of those older games, or even, you know, a more modern Metroidvania.
Like, game over, reload.
Yeah. Game over, reload. But see, like, this is so fucking Metroid. The way the doors work is so Metroid. This little room right before a boss is so Symphony of the Night. It's so Mega Man. It's just It's a great throwback, but that's what I'm saying. Like, even though this looks so much like a throwback, I'm just constantly seeing new shit. Like, I just got this ability after I was playing a little bit
cool.
after I was recording the footage. I fight this boss for a while. He's kind of a pain. And I get a new ability, and while maybe another one of these games would have had like a double jump, this game has like there's a lot of like I told you, there's a glitch gun, which is straight up, you know, I'm just gonna glitch this enemy out and see what it does. I got this ability to kind of glitch through walls. So like, it is weird because it lets me kind of glitch into the environment in all this area that I just thought was like the borders of the environment before. I am now looking at a whole new light because it's like, wait a minute, I can get into that wall and jump up there and glitch through that wall, and like this is like more so than any other game. Like, I'm going back through areas with new eyes, which is crazy because you don't see that very often. And it's such a cool mechanic of like just just the visual effects of what it looks like when he does glitch through a wall is really fucking cool. And I still feel like I'm kind of early in the game. This does seem way kind of meatier than a lot of the Metroidvanias we've been playing lately, like
Ori.
I mean, yeah, like Ori, that's an 8-hour game, or Guacamelee is not that long, or even Shadow Complex is not that long. They're such well-made games that they're so tight, but it doesn't have that just that grand sense of like what is going on here. I don't know what I'm gonna find. I don't know what I'm gonna see, and that's exciting. Like those. There's something so tight and designed and clean about like something like Ori and the Blind Forest. You know, there's nothing
very controlled.
There's nothing open to the imagination.
Yeah,
I feel like this game has that. Like when this is not the first time I fought this boss because he's kind of a pain, but I discovered those platforms that I'm standing on now by accident. By
you can glitch in the platform. Comes into
and they just
existence?
appeared out of nowhere, just by fucking accident. I found these just drilling random walls, which can be fucking tedious. You have like a laser drill, and just finding all these areas that are like that. So these randomized little mini dungeon seeds that you find, these little seeds that you find, are they have like two random upgrades in each of these dungeons. Now they could be like a heart piece essentially, or it can be like one of the ways that this game can have a ton of upgrades because they have all these randomized childish dungeony type areas is because like the upgrades are so subtle at first. Like they slightly increase the power, or they slightly increase the size of your projectile. Like very subtly,
bigger, like,
but if you get enough of them, you start to see this weapon that may have seemed previously useless. Like wow! Now that this projectile is a lot larger, I could see why this weapon, might have some use now.
Of it, yeah.
You're
it's just
classic Magikarp to Gyarados.
exactly.
Hey, this game is coming to PS4, right? PS4 and PC. Wait, what are you playing?
No, this is right now. It's only on PS4,
Oh, it's only
And then
on
it's
PS4.
coming to PC later.
and then it's coming to Vita, and then it's coming to PC, I believe.
Oh shit.
But yeah, it's cool. I'm definitely gonna play some more. I'll be broadcasting more of it on the feed. It's surprising me in ways that I feel like this genre hasn't in a long time.
Yeah. Oh
And-
shit.
yeah,
That's
the-
cool looking.
Yeah, it's so retro. Yeah, I don't even know, but it's such a
definitely
cool looking
awesome.
fucking effect. Also, the music is fucking amazing. I don't know how to describe it because it's kind of like Metroid style music, but it's like if it was like the Metroid, it's like more modern music, but like SNESized. It's I don't know how to describe it.
Digitized?
I've heard it described as like the Metroid Prime soundtrack on a Super Nintendo, and that's like the perfect example.
That sounds pretty good.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's the music is
So-
really goddamn good.
Should I buy this game or wait for it to be a PS Plus title?
I mean, so the PS Plus
Which it
games
will
did
be.
get announced today, and they seem kind of lame.
What were the PS Plus titles?
Isn't Dishonored
Dishonored on
Dishonored
PS3
on
is one of them.
PS3.
Oh,
Yeah.
PS3.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's
What's the-
Tower
the-
of Guns, which has been on Steam
that one doesn't look
forever.
very fun. What is the
And
one you played, Nick?
Never Alone is
Never
on there.
Alone. I kind of want to play that now.
That's pretty cool. It's really short.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, but
it's
if
just-
it's free on PlayStation Plus, that's
Are we still saying that there's not enough retail titles for them to start putting quote unquote real games on PlayStation Plus.
They put plenty of real games on PlayStation Plus.
I know. It's not the
Just
same.
going off
It's not the same as it used to be. That's all I'm gonna say.
What is the same as it used to be? Is Pillars of Eternity the same?
Dude, that is a perfect transition because this is the same as it used to be.
Oh man, I'm proud.
Pillars
myself
of
on that
Eternity is that Obsidian developed Kickstarter success from years ago. They got over $4 million to make this game, to make this throwback to these Infinity Engine style games. And Pillars of Eternity is very much, people are just calling it Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, a lot of people have been.
It is exactly that type of game.
Yeah.
And the charms of that type of game are still here. What made those games great are still here. The things that made me not frustrated with those games in the past are still here.
Like the pausing and the...
So yeah, you're going to see me get into some combat in a second, and I challenge y'all to actually follow the combat scenario.
Challenge accepted.
Because it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's real-time pause-based mechanics. If you didn't play those Baldur's Gate games, imagine Dragon Age Origins pulled all the way out with zero AI tactics, which means Morgan's never going to throw a fireball on her own.
You have to tell her to do everything.
Micromanage.
You got to
the whole
pause
team.
every split second, tell her to shoot a fireball, and when she's done shooting that fireball,
Hey, we just got a subscriber.
you need a
Hey.
Flask and drink. Flask and drink. Flask.
and when
Chris
she's
Davis typing it up does not make it any easier to pronounce.
and when she's done shooting that fireball, you got to pause again to tell her the next thing to do.
Plus, there's 6 characters in your party here, right?
There's 6 characters in your party.
So you can't queue up attacks at all?
Jesus
or-
Christ, that fog of
well,
war.
Okay,
God.
so you can kind of queue up attacks, but not like you think. It's
No,
not.
but it's like you pause, you tell everyone what to do, and then you unpause, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell them to do like 2 things, but that's not how this game works. Everything in the game,
If you tell them to do 2 things, they're gonna train wreck.
I mean, because a dude's gonna move like an inch to the right, and that changes everything. You know. And you have to micromanage because these games can be quite challenging. And if you aren't on top of it, it doesn't help that this combat scenario, I'm kind of stuck behind this fucking pillar, which just kind of
That's ironic.
is unfortunate.
Is this the Pillar of Eternity?
Yeah, is that one of them?
is this the namesake of the
So, despite the kind of like jerky pacing of the combat with all the
Jerky.
pausing, and unpausing,
It is
Is
constant.
it still as like deep as say like you were really into Divinity Original Sin?
Divinity Original Sin may have the best party-based combat in any RPG ever.
Just flat statement.
Like flat out.
Okay.
And there is a dude who came in. His name was Minskin Boo. Sorry, Minskin Boo. I don't mean to call you out, but his name was Minskin Boo. That's a character or 2 characters from the Baldur's Gate series.
I think
And
Boo is from Dragon Ball Z.
And he was like, man, no, this combat is way better than Divinity. And he got laughed out of the room. Well, I know he stuck around, but he was quiet for a while.
Yeah.
Like, you have a lot of options in this combat scenario. There's tons of spells, and it's great. But it's the way you deliver it that's kind of lame to me. That doesn't mean I'm not going to... See, the thing is, I never finished those Baldur's Gate games. I spent dozens and dozens of hours on both of those games, but I always gave up. I always restarted,
Brad's a
made a
quitter.
new build, but I always gave up.
How many games have you finished, Brad?
I've never gotten over that hump with those games. And the reason I've been so gung-ho about playing this is because for me, this is like, well, this is going to be the most modernized version.
That is pretty funny.
This is going to be the most modernized version of this game. And maybe I'll finally be able to get over that hump. Maybe even to the point where if I can get through this, maybe I can even go back and finally finish Baldur's Gate. There are some things in this game that are a little more streamlined and nicer than those games from the late 90s, mid to late 90s. Like, for example, you have the option to kind of just speed up everything, instead of just walking around the environment like slow as shit. You could just speed up the game and they just start running. But there's a toggle in the menu that as soon as you enter combat, it actually slows down time.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is nice.
Yeah, that is nice that that's there.
Like something like that would never existed back in those old Infinity Engine games, and it's just there's a lot of really smart checkboxes and toggles in the menus that make it a lot nicer. There's also damage numbers, which there wasn't
That's
damage
always
numbers
nice.
before. You had to read the little combat explanation scroll on the side, you know? And even in this game, like, I was fighting a boss, and my characters just started dying, and it was a clusterfuck. We were all cluttered together in a tiny little room. Everyone's dying. And this is the time when this dude's saying, man, this combat is the best. And I'm like, explain to me what's happening. I want you to sit there and explain to me what happened, the narrative of this battle.
Right.
You heard him.
I asked him to explain to me the narrative of the battle, and he couldn't. The only way you can actually figure out what the fuck is going on in a situation like that is just to open up the combat log and just look at it.
Wait,
and just read it.
You have to scroll through a combat log to figure out what you just did?
No, absolutely. You know,
Everyone's dead. What happened?
in a big chaotic battle like that?
Hey,
I was quiet when y'all were talking.
no.
I was listening.
I didn't realize I was sitting on that.
I was intently
I had
listening.
a moment of realization.
I was trying to read what was on the screen. That's why I was moving hentai around. Because Nolan was blocking some text.
Another cool thing I like is that I feel like since they're finally got out from under that D&D, you know, before Baldur's Gate was all D&D, obviously.
Yeah.
But now they sort of created their own world and they have some new classes.
Did they do a good job with that?
I think the world, it's very grim, like the Baldur's Gate games. Divinity was very light, and I enjoyed that.
Very colorful.
It was a very colorful, funny game.
World
There were silly
Warcrafty.
characters, you know. This is very serious, grimdark, they call it. And
Watching this combat is like watching a buffering YouTube video with a shitty internet connection.
that is what it's like. And I try to zoom in as much as I can to where I can still follow for the sake of the viewers, but you know, if I get any closer, I'm cutting out most of the dudes in combat. So I like, for example, they have some cool takes on characters. Like they have a monk, right? But like any other monk in a fighting game is a monk or whatever. But the twist on this one is that he has to do his really powerful attacks, which he has very powerful ones. He has like its own kind of currency, kind of like in like Diablo 3.
Oh, yeah.
But his is like he can do his attacks based on like how many wounds he's taken, and that's based on like the amount of damage he takes.
Is he a blood mage?
Lets him.
Is he a blood mage?
No, creates a little counter that lets him unleash really powerful attacks, or like the chanter, which is like a bard who actually sings a hymn, and you can actually choose which spells like kind of he sings. Like it's like actually kind of create his verse, which he will just sing, and it'll kind of like loop it, right? Oh. And he'll sing this spell, then he'll sing this spell, and then he'll sing this spell, and then he'll go over and over again. And his resource for and the other thing he does is he summons stuff. But he can only summon after he's sung like 3 verses, and now he can summon a pack of skeletons.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's just this cool new take on this job class, which I've seen before, but not done in this way. So I like that.
Yeah.
The other thing that I guess the final thing that frustrates me, outside of combat, which, you know, I'm going to get over, and, you know, yeah, is that they put voice acting in this game, but they put voice acting in this game in weird random places.
Is there like not a lot of it, or
there isn't a lot of like your main characters have a lot of voice acting,
yeah,
but you will be in conversations with a character, and there'll be like a page that's voice acted, and then there'll be a page that's not.
That's awkward.
And then there'll be a page that's voice acted, and there'll be a page that's not.
It's a gamble. It's like you never know what you're gonna get.
Not only is it weird, especially when you're trying to voice act the game yourself. So I can't make up my own voices. I got to try to approximate their voices because they're going to just fucking cut in every now and then, you know what I mean? The thing that makes it really fucking jarring is that all the dialogue, like all the text in this game, is accompanied by like a narrator's voice as well. You know what I'm saying? So like there's a narrator saying, you know, he sighs and then says blah, 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 right? So... But the voice acting, there's no voice acting for this narrator's voice. So it just completely skips over it. When you're reading it, it's super fucking natural and it reads well. And I like games like that, you know?
Oh,
like,
so there'll be like a huge block of like direction text.
Exactly.
And then there's like one little line of dialogue, but when the whole thing pops up, the dialogue just automatically reads.
Yeah. And sometimes they don't even read it the way that the narrator is describing he says it.
Oh, yeah.
Like it occasionally he's like, wait. he was supposed to laugh. Like that was supposed to be a funny line.
That's like
and
when
he
you
didn't
listen to
deliver
an-
it
it's
like
like
the
when
way
you-
they said.
It's
And
like
that
when you
doesn't
listen
happen.
to an audiobook that's abridged,
Yeah.
and they start like you're trying to read along, and you realize, oh, it's not going to work.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not that bad, but it is weird because I really like that narrator's voice. Planescape Torment had that, and I thought that was really really cool. But you can't even read it when the voice acting kicks in because it just skips over it.
Dude, I
It's really
popped
frustrating.
I popped into you playing this last night, like towards the end of your cast, and you were getting a new character, and there was like 20 screens of text.
No,
Of
probably
just like
more.
reading through.
But that was actually unique.
And your characters were just standing there, but this text was like describing this whole like scene of like stuff happening.
But that was unique to that character. That was okay. So I didn't set this up, but my character is I'm a watcher, and I survived this magical storm that kills everyone, but I survived it for some reason, and I'm a watcher.
What?
Yeah, no, yeah, I am a druid who can
You're
turn
a
into
werebear?
who
Nice.
could turn into a werebear.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
but my character's a watcher who can kind of read the memories, like dive into someone's like memories and kind of read like an event that happened in their past, and that happens in the game, right? Like that's the lore of the world. I'm a watcher and I'm trying to figure out like what this means, try to find someone who's like me who can kind of explain what all this means. And I meet a character, and her name is Grievous or
General
Mother.
Grievous?
Grieving Mother. Grieving Mother
sorry.
is her name.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she's a scientist. She's a cipher, who is a which is a your typical D&D class that like kind of controls the mind of another player.
Okay.
So it is the meeting of a watcher who like dives into like the past memories of another person, like having this encounter with like this really powerful scientist. So it's very crazy what happens.
Okay.
And that's why it was very like text heavy because I was essentially going on a bad trip.
But that was all based on like just the classic character you picked meeting this certain NPC in the world.
What's not my classic
Or-
character? It's a narrative conceit for the main character. I mean,
Oh,
everybody.
so all characters.
Yeah,
Okay,
me being a
okay.
watcher has nothing to do with my classes. It has everything to do
Okay.
with the story. She is a scientist. She is a cipher. So that's why that interaction was as crazy as it was.
So, I mean, it sounds to me like you're maybe enjoying the writing. I mean, it's an Obsidian game. I
I'm
figured-
enjoying this game for the exact reasons I enjoyed Baldur's Gate, and I'm frustrated with this game for the exact reasons I was frustrated with Baldur's Gate.
If I've never played a Baldur's Gate game before,
This is
and-
absolutely more accessible than that.
okay.
Absolutely. But if something like that intrigues you, I don't want that.
Well, I don't know, like because we
I was introduced to that character. Like that character, I don't even know if she talks. That's why it was such a weird mind trip when you came in there. The entire game is not like that.
oh okay.
So don't think you're just going to be reading pages and pages of text.
Okay.
I'm saying that you came in specifically at a moment that was like that.
okay, I got you.
I mean,
I get
yes,
what you're
you
saying.
will have to know how to read, but it's not
Oh,
like
man.
that. I think this is a great entry into, like, if you were kind of curious as the type of games that BioWare used to make, or Obsidian, or Black Isle and stuff used to make back then. This is that game. You love KOTOR, right? KOTOR is not that different from this type of game. You were pausing a lot in KOTOR.
You were. It's been a while,
that
man.
that was just less characters, and they put the camera down,
They-
next to the player.
did also have lightsabers.
Well,
Fair enough.
but the lore of this world is really cool. I do recommend it. I will say though, if you are wanting to go back to play an old school isometric RPG, I recommend Divinity Original Sin. That was my game of the year last year. That game is incredible. The
do have
combat is incredibly fun. If
You already
you,
have
for more on my opinions on Divinity, check out my game of the year video from last year.
Speaking of sin,
Wait. No, we have to take a break first. We have to take a break.
Aw,
Sorry, we've
damn
gone.
it.
This
Speaking
first segment
of
has gone. No.
Breaks.
Oh, yes. Speaking of breaks, we're taking one.
This is a break.
This is a break. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Nolan's going to tell us all about sin or something, right? Is that what your transition
Sin?
you're going for?
Yeah.
All right.
Sign?
So we're going to take a quick break. Like I said a little while ago, we are under a little bit of a different time constraint tonight. So our break's going to be pretty short. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. All right, go.
Speaking of giant floppy
You
tits,
shut the fuck up. After this game, they ain't gonna be floppy. I've been playing Senran,
Brad,
Kagura, Shinovi versus.
Right.
What?
I'm just,
Shinovi.
Yeah, Shinovi.
Brad's over
Wait,
here
wait, wait.
manhandling his microphone. Like,
Wait.
What?
Look, it's not even, it doesn't even pick it up.
what?
If you watch, look at the levels.
No,
Doesn't fucking matter. That's not what we're talking about right now.
What are we talking
We're
about?
talking
Nolan?
about Senran, Kagura, Shinovi versus. The game I've been playing.
Yeah,
What is that?
It is a brawler. Is the best way to put it. It's
Okay.
a beat 'em up. You just kind of
Okay.
punch people a lot.
Are you a samurai or a ninja?
You're a shinobi, a ninja.
a ninja?
A ninja. Yes.
Shinovi.
Yeah,
The V
Shinobi.
stands for vagina.
These are the ninjas that I play as.
What? Those aren't ninjas.
They're
Those are
at,
schoolgirls.
they're in a,
with
they're,
bunny
yeah,
ears.
they're at a school training to be ninjas.
Oh, what is this, Naruto?
No, it's better than Naruto. And so I had never played this game before, and at the beginning of the game, apparently you choose from one of 3 schools that you want to be. They want to add like kind of these are like I guess kind of like the good ones. There's like a school of like kind of bad ninjas. And actually, the battle before this, that school came and like kind of like attacked us a little bit, and we had to like fight them off or
Was it a
whatever.
panty raid? Or...
They don't wear panties. No, I'm just kidding.
oh my goodness, I can already.
Fuck.
This is.
But yeah, and so you look at it and you're like, oh, it's kind of fan, and it is fan servicey. But
Fan
first of
service?
all,
What? Fans of what?
Boobs?
boobs.
Okay.
What's wrong with you?
I mean,
It is. It
Nick
does
is
have
a-
the fan service, but
Nick's an ass
there's
man.
actually a bit of a plot from just what I've been playing in the
a
game.
bit. There's a bit of a plot.
Yeah. So one of the girls, like, kind of her backstory was that she was adopted into a family of like shinobi, and they wanted their son to be one, but he sucked at it.
I'm sorry. Are you talking, Nolan?
No, Nick, it hasn't even gotten good yet. Are you kidding me? Just wait like 30 seconds.
Okay.
And so their parents wanted him to be a shinobi, but he failed. He couldn't do it. And then so her adopted father was like, I think you can. You do it. And so they kind of started like putting their praise on this girl, and her brother got really jealous of her. And there's kind of this whole like confrontation where he comes and confronts her about this. And that's kind of one of the main plot lines. But like I said, there's 5 different characters in this school I'm in, bless you. And there's 5 different characters from each of the other 2 schools.
Why is she even gonna wear a tie if she's not gonna button up her shirt?
Well, you choose what clothes they wear.
What the fuck?
So this is all you're doing, is what you're saying.
Yeah, their main outfit looks exactly like that, except for it is buttoned up.
Oh.
So you unbuttoned.
I just unbuttoned a couple.
Just
And so this is
ventilating
my
them a
first
bit.
time playing this character, and she's really weird. And so you can see I'm really fucking confused as to what I'm doing. Because if you ever see a hand come up, it's because I accidentally pressed in the sticks. When you press in the sticks on the PlayStation TV, it activates touchscreen mode.
Yeah.
And so sometimes during combat, I accidentally do that. And so you'll see me just stand there and start getting hit, and I just stand there. And it's because I accidentally pushed in the sticks to activate touchscreen mode. But so all of the characters that I've played as fight very differently. They have different fighting styles. They use different weapons. This one seems to use some weird kind of punchy, and then
Whoa! Whoa!
yeah, okay, so what
Oh,
she's
you got
doing
some
right now
TNA.
is she's doing a transformation, a shinobi transformation. So once you acquire enough, there's 2 bars on the bottom. They're kind of hidden by us, but there's a blue bar that's your health, and there's a orangey bar that's kind of like your mana, power, stamina, whatever you want to call it. And so the more you use that, it builds up.
Okay, no one's butt would jiggle like that in jeans.
Hers does.
This is anime, man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Butts
no one's
always
butt would jiggle. Like,
Trust me, I know.
And so this is my first time playing as her. I'm not used to it. So I'm doing her shinobi transformation right now. I can't remember what I transformed into. Okay, so this is
with big boobs.
this is her regular. So there's 2 different types of transformations you can do. There's your regular school uniform. You have a shinobi transformation, and then you have like a frenzy transformation.
Slutty one? Or
No, so you choose what outfits they're wearing. You can have them be super conservative. I just chose for them to not be
what is this
conservative. Vita. I'm playing it on my PlayStation TV.
no, this is coming out to PS. This is out on PS4, I think. Right?
They're coming out with a new game that's on PS4.
Okay.
But this Shinobi Versus, you're thinking of Estival Versus.
How easy is it to play this one-handed?
Not very.
I mean, these aren't like super deep like action
I
games
can't,
or anything.
guys. We're talking.
I'd say this is more like akin to like Dynasty Warriors.
Yes, no, that's what I'm saying. Very much Dynasty Warriors. It's very much a beat 'em up. Which attack am I doing right here?
I think you can play this with one hand.
Okay, so yeah, so no, you can't. So there's lots of different attacks and different modes and stuff, and so that's the cool. So you build up your meter, and then you use these powerful attacks. Either like you have a light attack, a heavy attack, and then you have like once you can use your meter to do the Shinobi transformation attack. What's
They
wrong,
have
Chris?
no
She's
shame.
losing clothes.
Yeah, so it's similar.
Is she even wearing anything?
Yeah, it's similar to Akiba's strip. The more damage you do to them, they will start to lose like their clothing a little bit.
So
I will say that the shock of Crispy just confirms that he never watches Trader Talk.
Reborn goes, oh god.
I catch
was
the
that
odd
a
episode
butthole?
here and there.
Dude, I don't think there are buttholes.
Guys,
And
I
so-
feature this series a lot in Trader.
he does, and so what I want to say is I actually enjoy the combat. But so you can skip those cutscenes that occur, but I actually enjoy the combat. So right now I'm only fighting 2 people. There are times when you're fighting like 30. There's 30 things on screen. They're like enemies that you're fighting, and I actually really enjoy the combat. I think it's well done. Yeah, like I said, you have your light attack, heavy attack. If you do a combo, you'll knock the enemy away. And then you can chase them in the air by, like, you can press a button that flies at them, and you can continue with your combo. I think my first battle in this game, I got a combo of like 800 or something like that.
Is she even
Is
wearing
it-
pants?
Is there an
No.
option in this game to like turn off those animations?
Maybe. You can skip them.
But why?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm wondering if there's like a toggle, like automatically skip animations.
If people who were like really into the mechanics of the game just wanted to get past
No.
all
I
the
didn't
fluff,
find-
like
And so I was actually talking to a community member about Estival Versus. He emailed me about it, and he was even saying that later on in the game you start skipping them just because you actually enjoy the combat and you just kind of like whatever. I've seen this 100 times before. I don't need to see it again, and you'll skip it just so you can get back to the actual game. Now I've only played it for a couple hours, so I'm not super far into it.
Okay.
Excuse me. So I don't know all of the details.
my
Oh,
God.
that's what my character's
that
wearing.
bra doesn't work.
There's some tape on there.
All right. So
That's like some fucking super.
did we ever take a second to explain what we're watching, like for people listening to the audio
Well, we're
podcast?
watching Shin and Kagura Shinovi Versus.
It's
You haven't even
I mean,
seen me
it's a-
do my ultimate attack yet. You haven't even
God,
seen
what
it
is
yet.
that?
I'm about to do it. Coming up right.
I find it
here in a
really-
Super
second.
ultimate climax.
I find it really funny that we're talking about this game in the same podcast we talked about Bloodborne
This-
and Pillars of
So
Eternity.
this is this one? Yet?
I like the characters that
Yeah.
just have the band. Like at the end of the fight, they just have
Whoa.
2 band-aids on.
Yeah. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god!
That's a move you can do.
Oh.
So that's the thing. So this is my first time playing this character.
What
When I
the
recorded
fuck?
this, I didn't see this coming because I had never done that attack
Someone
before.
please explain to me why she just turned huge and then like sat on a ground. I don't even know what's going on.
That's her attack. And so it's
So
And
does she
now
shrink?
that's all you do.
Does she shrink with her still inside of her butt like that?
I don't think
That
so.
was like the secret Mr. Slave technique.
Come on. Don't be crude. It's her vagina.
Oh, I'm sorry.
and so I guess the more fan servicey part is if you defeat
Yeah.
them in a certain way, you can actually strip their clothes off of them. It is censored in like the cutscene after, because every time after every battle, there's a cutscene where everyone who was in the battle is talking, and they look like how they ended in the battle. So at this cutscene coming up, you'll see them wearing what they wore at the end.
Isn't there actually? You can actually just straight up grope them and stuff, and like slap their titties.
So there is a mode. If you go into the mode,
Well, there definitely isn't the one that's coming out
if
soon.
you go into the mode where you change their outfits, yes, you can think of Super Mario 64 where you grab his nose. And
No.
yeah.
You can
No.
So I had both hands on the boobs and I was like doing this, like moving them and like
How come you didn't put that in the
her
video?
boobs were cross-eyed and stuff. Because I was playing this last night at 12:30 and I was tired and I just wanted to like get something recorded
No,
and
he
go to
was
sleep.
exhausted. There's a difference.
You're exhausted.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh, never mind.
My God, Nolan.
What?
Nothing.
I'll wrap up with this or whatever. I just want to say that like that game that I have been playing, Hyper Devotion Noir, often gets lumped into the same category as this game, but they're very different types of games.
They're different
And
style
I'm not
games.
just talking about the gameplay, but I'm talking about this one is definitely much. I feel like more made specifically for the pervy
Was
community,
Hyperdevotion-
while Hyperdevotion is just
that the
has a
game
lot of
that-
TNA in it.
That had like the cutscenes with like the girl in the shower and like,
Yes.
there's like a little bit of soap on her boobs
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, but they weren't like fucking alive.
The boobs weren't alive.
So the quality's not as high.
There's fan service in that game, but this game is fan service.
No, so yeah, the
Can I call this show the Boobs Are Alive show?
Sure. The main draw of this game is the fan service, but it's not necessarily a game where they just made fan service. They actually made a solid.
I'm still weirded out by the
structure
fact that we're using fan service, because fan service implies like there are fans of like a franchise or something.
That is
or
the
a
term
character.
that is what people use to describe this. Though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But like every,
It's like an ironic usage of the.
But like
term.
I mean, like you're a fan of boobs.
and I just
Most
unlocked a
people
whole lot
are
of new
fans
outfits.
of boobs.
Yeah, look, I think it was 1 a.m. I was tired. I
You know
wanted
what?
to go to sleep.
To offer a little balance to the Senran Kagura footage and conversation, I will say that Anita Sarkeesian started a new series of videos where she is featuring female characters that she thinks are really good, which is great because I know a lot of people who didn't like her videos were complaining that she focuses too much on the negative, everything that's terrible. Now she started a series of videos where she's showing like characters
Holding up
and saying,
good
"Hey,
examples.
this one's awesome, and
you have-
here's why."
Do you have
And-
any examples of someone you chose? I'm just
Oh,
curious.
well, I only saw one
Her
video.
first episode was about.
It was the main character from Sword and Sorcery,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
which seemed really interesting. I never finished that game, but it made me kind of want to finish it.
Mhm.
Just to offer a little balance to the conversation, guys.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, I'll be playing more of this game.
I will definitely be playing Estival Versus when that comes out this summer.
I will look at you the same way as I am now when we talk about that. That's okay. Because someone has to do it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Nolan.
I'll take a hit for the team.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so Shinovi, I definitely enjoy what little I've played of it. I got it from Gamefly, and so the problem is, same time as Bloodborne. So I've definitely, if I choose the two, I play Bloodborne over this. But I will be trying to play more of
That's
this.
good to know,
Yeah.
Nolan. That makes me feel a little better about this whole conversation.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
Yes.
Chad
I'm
did
sorry.
seem to enjoy my playthrough of it.
Well, it definitely is highlight fall.
Time for some-
Everyone except Victus. Victus seemed to be the only one.
Time for some news.
Who didn't enjoy
News.
It is time for the news. Let's see, what are we doing on time now? We have 52 minutes. Can we wrap this up in 52 minutes? I think
Yeah.
we can.
Let's do it.
So news.
Speed run.
I want to bring up one real quick. I was originally going to talk about something else, but I changed it at the last second. Because, what the fuck, Konami? This is... Okay, first of all, I'm jumping to conclusions a little bit here, but Konami went ahead and removed the Kojima Productions logo from the Silent Hills website.
Oh.
Now, I will say this, it does seem like they are talking about basically rebranding that studio as something completely different, which will probably entail a new logo. So this may just be a simple matter of we're going to take the old one down because we have a new one coming. But at the same time, they gotta know. Konami has to know that they're fucking freaking people out about this whole thing.
Probably.
And their silence is starting to piss me off. That's all I'm going to say.
Dude, what? Yeah.
What the fuck is going on over
What
there,
happened?
and why are they being so goddamn quiet about it?
Wait, so
Legal
so
issues? I don't know.
Konami Productions is owned by, or I mean,
Kojima
Productions. Productions is owned by Konami. They're
Yes,
not just
correct.
like contracted through them.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
So,
But-
if Hideo Kojima leaves, it obviously doesn't make sense to continue calling it Kojima Productions, which makes sense. It's fine.
Right.
We know, Chris, but, it's just one of those things like, why would you pull the logo down before having a new logo to replace it with?
Yeah.
Or, like, at this point, it just seems like the project doesn't have a goddamn developer.
Mhm.
And
Well,
that
it's
is
kind of
concerning.
I don't know if they're going to give it a new developer. I mean, I'm assuming they would
I don't-
have to. It's not in development yet. But
apparently it is.
my biggest question is why they did it on Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. Why they removed the Kojima Productions from that?
Sounds like somebody's
because
butthurt about
Kojima
something.
Productions developed the entire game.
Yeah, I mean the thing is if they're talking about changing the name of the studio to something else that does not include his name in the title, which is probably what they're doing, I would
Probably.
imagine that when Metal Gear Solid launches on the box, it'll have a logo, but it won't say Kojima Productions. It'll
Probably
say
not.
Well, they renamed the studio to Konami.
something Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, something like that.
But it's one of those things, like, they've got to know that people are very, very nervous about the state of Silent Hills, and like, we don't, even if they're not going to tell us exactly what's happening with Kojima, it'd be nice to hear yes, we're still working on it, or something, or like, just something to put the audience at peace about it a little bit. But they're not doing any of that. They're just kind of, and like, people have been like, other outlets have reached out to them for comment, and like, their response is, as we've already said, and then they just copy and pasted the announcement that they made already, which is that whole long bullshit thing about how we're changing our structure to focus on blah 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 and all that business jargon. And it's just like, that wasn't the question.
Yeah.
Like, just say, hey, we don't have anything to say. We'll talk about it later. Like, stop copying and pasting the same goddamn robot talk over and over again.
Boilerplate responses.
Yeah, it's
Well,
ridiculous.
I think
not
it
only
has
is
to do with their legal department. They have protocol and stuff, and I kind of understand. I'm sure at some point they will come out with actual information.
I'm sure they're still waiting for
it's
all
just-
the ink to dry on all this stuff.
Probably.
Or we'll never find out the
That's
truth
true,
behind
too.
this chaos.
Never ever.
But
Speaking of bullshit out of Japan,
There's a lot of bullshit out of Japan.
Nintendo delayed Zelda out of 2015.
That's not surprising.
not
I
even
mean,
not
like-
even a little bit.
Yeah, so like the thing is, it's like you never expect them to come out on time. It's just when when Miyamoto
Yeah.
was sitting there.
Yeah, but
And he was just promising
When we were
so
watching-
fucking hard that it was coming out this year.
Well, I think
But when
everybody
we
else
were
here-
watching that preview and he said Legend of Zelda will be out this coming 2015, there wasn't a part of you that was just like,
No, all of me was like that.
Yeah,
But
come
then
on.
he just kept saying it.
My mind
over
was
and over.
yelling
don't
just
believe
yelling
it.
at me like, he is lying to you.
Yeah.
He is
I bet
lying
Star
to you.
Fox is not even coming
Right?
out.
Star
in
Fox could
2015.
They're
Delayed
never
too.
even going to talk about Star Fox again. There is no Star Fox. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also, Nintendo does have their. So they also said that they aren't going to be showing Zelda at E3 this year.
that's the bullshit
and
part.
which is also bullshit. But they
Yeah.
have a Nintendo Direct tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to be showing in this Nintendo.
They already
No, no,
confirmed that there's not going to be anything Zelda or NX.
That's lovely.
Although, you know what?
Tomorrow is April 1st.
So what I wanted to talk about is that it's also the first day of the Japanese business fiscal
Do
year.
they do April Fool's Day?
No, they don't typically do it. I mean, some game companies do, but it's not common over there. All right, check it out. What does this mean?
What?
Does this mean they're working on a port for the NX?
Oh, god damn it.
Because you know what?
Whatever
Is this
their-
created
No.
the Twilight?
Twilight
their new
Princess
console is?
got delayed back in the day.
I don't think
and,
so.
and their company line was that we just want to make sure it's the best game it can be.
But
That fucking delay was so that they can make a goddamn Wii port.
So you wait.
Of the
So
fucking
do you
game.
think the NX is coming out next year?
I don't know, but
I don't think it's coming out this soon.
It makes me fucking worried.
And I
thing
don't think
is-
they're going to delay Zelda by
Here's the
more than a
question.
year.
If we're not going to see Zelda
Done
at
it before.
E3, if we're not going to see Zelda at E3, what if fucking the NX is at E3? Like, what if that's what?
They've confirmed that the NX will not be at E3.
well, then what the fuck?
I believe they've confirmed that Zelda won't be at E3. I mean, they could plant the seed for the NX.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe Vunik will be here to reassure me.
Yeah, Vunik, what the fuck's going on? What else is in the news?
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe they
I
have
got mine.
another.
Today was announced a special edition Batman Arkham
Oh,
Knight
yeah, I saw
PS4.
that.
Holy fuck,
Hey,
that thing looked cool
Crispy,
too.
don't you already have a PS4?
I do.
Don't you do it.
I do.
Maybe you could trade that in for like $200 and get a Batman one.
I could trade it in for $230.
Oh.
I'm going to tell you
Get a
what I always
Batman
tell people about fancy looking things like that. Just download a desktop wallpaper that looks cool with Batman on it and just
It'll
move
make
on
you
with your
feel-
life.
Dude, but it's gunmetal. That controller looks cool. Dude.
Hey, Crispy, I have a question for you.
Desktop
How many
wallpaper.
times have you been playing a video game and you look down at your controller and been like, man, that looks cool?
I mean, a couple.
No.
I got a white PS4 controller. Those things look kind of cool. And I'm like, yeah, that looks kind of cool. And then I die in Bloodborne. You're right. You know what? You're right. I know. The rational side of me says that this is stupid. I already own a PS4. Plus, I've bonded with my PS4. We're like
I'm
bros
sorry,
now.
you've done what?
We're buddies.
Was
like,
this consensual?
We've been playing games since September now. Like we're tight.
We're tight. Okay.
We're good.
Gotcha. Okay.
We're good. But
I'm glad it's still tight.
But fuck.
What?
Also announced, I don't know if it was today, Assassin's Creed Chronicles China.
That was
Did
today.
you hear about that?
But that's a mobile game, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
it's a something.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's just mobile.
It's like a-
Is it just mobile? I know it's a 2D game.
Yeah,
but
that's-
I know the thing they announced today was it's a trilogy. That it's China, India, and Russia. That there's going to be a trilogy they're releasing.
Which you know what that means? That means
full console. Okay, so full console release of the games.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, so that's kind of cool, but they're all 2D side-scrolling games.
Correct.
But China, India, and Russia are all three really cool locations that I would have loved to see
And
fleshed
you know
out
what?
in a
Those
full-blown
Those
Assassin's
are
Creed
really
game.
cool locations that they were talking about making full-blown Assassin's Creed games about, and now they're definitely not going to do that.
True.
If they're making
Because
shitty
they'll
little
be
mobile
like,
games.
oh, well, we already did it.
Yeah, no,
this
everyone
one.
wanted to see London, so we're just gonna fucking
And
do
they're
that.
going to shoehorn a female assassin into these games and say, oh, but we do have female assassins. They're in the the non.
Yeah, like the two like shit, like the mobile, and then now this whatever the fuck this game is, and it's only just the one of them. The one from China is a female.
Yeah.
And the other
Kind of
two are
say,
male.
kind of done with
Fuck Assassin's
London.
Creed,
Yeah, we get Order, Bloodborne, and now Assassin's Creed.
dude.
I think we get
Bloodborne's not really London.
No, but it's that
At all.
Victorian.
It's that Victorian
kind of Victorian
Whitechapel
setting
shit.
that you would want.
The first
from,
like hour is Victorian London. The
I
rest
mean-
is not at all.
I mean, it would probably be the same in an Assassin's Creed game. I'm sure they wouldn't just stay in a city. There'd also be like, I don't know. My point is like what Brad's saying. If that's what you wanted, like there are other games probably doing it better than Assassin's Creed will.
Probably.
So
Like The Order.
I'm fucking done with Assassin's Creed, man. Unless this one comes out and it's just like stellar, I'm probably not even gonna get it. Ugh, that's sad.
day.
Is that true?
Unless they bring back competitive multiplayer. If they bring back the competitive multiplayer, then I'll consider it.
All right. Final news topic is that today is the last day to.
Don't tell people. Make it harder for us to get our stuff.
Today is the last day to enter your Nintendo Club codes that are in all your little boxes and stuff that came with the game, and then take your surveys to redeem your coins. So today's the last day to get coins. Now the problem is the website, as it usually always is, like when they
Anytime something big happens,
anytime something
their
big
site
happens,
goes down.
the website is unusable right now. I have like a whole bunch of codes entered into the website, and I'm not able to take any of the surveys. I'm gonna lose probably out on. It's gonna be like 300 coins at least that I'm gonna lose out on.
Yeah.
Because I can't take these goddamn surveys, which sucks because there's a lot of like cool digital free games that you can get, and it just sucks. I was gonna get Kid Icarus Uprising, but oh well. Oh
Womp
well.
Womp womp.
Good job,
womp.
Nintendo. You're usually so good with online servers and stuff.
Way to let us-
Maybe Dina will help them with that.
If you have the coins, that's okay. You have till
Like September or something to spend your coins. Or
Yeah.
no, like July.
July or something. You
Yeah,
have
a couple
time
of
to spend your
months.
coins, but you can't redeem your coins or take surveys after tonight, which
If
you-
I've got
you
a bunch
can't.
of those codes at home, is it worth it to try to go?
No,
I mean,
you're
you
done.
can
You're done.
try.
You have till midnight of
Midnight Pacific, I think.
Pacific, maybe, but
Most of their stuff's usually
the
Pacific.
site is swamped and it's gonna be like that until like I've been trying for hours.
Don't worry. At about 3 a.m., the site will be just fine.
Yeah.
Right when you can't. enter
Which sucks
codes.
because you bought a Wii U and a new 3DS and some games, and you would have definitely been able to get some free stuff out of that. But
Fuck. Thanks for telling me, guys.
well, you say good job waiting till today. Well, on all the news blogs posted today. that-
Yeah, I
Today was
knew
the
it was
last day.
happening soonish. I just didn't realize it was today. That's what I was saying earlier before the podcast. Is everyone who talked about it? They didn't talk about it last week. You have one more week. They're like, you have until the end of the day. And so yeah, like I don't worship Nintendo.
Who wants to volunteer? Like J52. If I give you my login, will you sit there refreshing this for me, taking some surveys?
Don't do it.
Well, I'm doing a podcast.
You didn't have to be here, Brett. Actually, you did.
He does live here.
He does, and I would make him be here anyways. So, you ready for the community?
It's time for community.
Yeah, it is. Before.
Woo! It's time for community. What do you mean before?
Oh, I mean, this is community too, so it's still a little community. Wee, yeah,
What?
yeah.
He said sure. He's gonna steal all my games.
Hey, we're about to do some Patreon stuff, right? We're about to talk about Patreon stuff.
We can.
Patronage.
I just wanted to bring up real quick. We were kind of hashing out some new milestones. We achieved a lot of our milestones on Patreon very fast. So we are obviously talking about introducing some new milestones. But we launched a new one today. which is just kind of a smaller one, but it's kind of exciting. Crispy. Crispy needs a new capture card for a number of reasons.
Yeah. Well, I need a capture card, not even a new one.
Yeah, you don't even have one. You've been restricted to playing strictly PC games when it comes to broadcasting, right?
For like 3 years.
So, next milestone, we're going to get you a capture card. But at the same time, you're going to be doing a Let's Play series.
Yes.
With using that capture card.
So, yeah, it's not just give me a capture card. It's give me a capture card, and I'm going to play Demon Souls all the way through as a Let's Play series. And it's probably going to be really frustrating. But I can't wait. It's going to be great. I've played Boletaria a dozen times, but I've never gotten past that part, so...
you played the first part of Boletaria.
I have all the faith.
Okay, well, yeah, whatever.
In
like,
fact,
up
that is the longest...
Up to Phalanx or whatever his name is.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you've played nothing.
Yeah.
You didn't even get to the Tower Knight. Giant Knight.
Probably not.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, no, that's not very far
That's
at
as
all.
far as I've ever gotten.
Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot for you.
Time constraints.
Yeah. It'll be good. So I want
to
do this.
Yeah.
So that's up.
It would open up a lot of options for Crispy as a broadcaster who's always kind of is like, I don't know what to play because I can only play PC games and my PS4 broadcasts like dog shit.
Yeah, it's not great. Any of you guys who saw my broadcast last week would attest that PS4 casting isn't always the most stable.
Like he wants to play Bloodborne on Wednesday, but he's
not sure if I can.
Yeah, he's not sure if he's able to.
We'll see how it works.
So if you can't play Bloodborne, what are you going to play? How was that Game of Thrones last night?
It was all right. It was all right. It's kind of like no. It's like the story's at a part where they're kind of like transitioning a lot of storylines, so it ends on a pretty high note, but getting up to that is a little slow.
That's cool. Do we have any Patreon questions, Nolan?
This community section's gone way astray.
Sorry.
During our time-constrained podcast.
We still have 40 minutes.
Do we?
We're good to go.
That's what Chris Davis just said.
I can attest to that. We have exactly
38
minutes.
Yeah, 38 minutes.
Let's go. Let's roll.
So every week we're going and naming at least 10, or at most 10, rather, I should say, patrons, because we're still not quite caught up.
We're thanking them.
Yeah.
We're thanking
We're
them.
about halfway caught up. But yeah, so anyone who's donated or become a patron through our Patreon, we are giving you a personal thank you. So I'm going to do 10 today. Ryan B. Dan B.
A lot of bees.
I wonder if they're related.
Bee?
Beads.
Ruguthridge is the name.
R.A. Guthridge?
Yep.
That's my dad.
I wonder who that is.
Thanks, Crispy's dad.
Joseph K. Jeffrey M. Gabriel. Slade. Yeah, just Gabriel. Just Slade. Miklopa.
Miklopa.
Yep. Carrie H. And Alana R.
Cool.
Nice.
Crispy,
So,
your parents are
thank you,
awesome.
guys.
I think my parents still think I make videos.
I don't know if they completely understand, but, you know, they're supportive.
Hey, they understand how to donate money, and that's pretty nice.
My parents have no
There you
idea.
My mom. Sometimes my mom's like, sometimes I see you when you're brought, and you just sometimes the language you use. I'm like, I'm sorry, Mom. That's the internet. That's you have to talk that way.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a rule.
Yeah.
It'll eat you alive if you don't.
So we're also answering questions from our activity feed, our patron activity feed.
Yes.
Yep. So first one tonight's from Sunny H.
Sunny H.
As you know, Bloodborne just released. Oh, it did. And I've been playing that game like mad. And my question is, what is your favorite transforming weapon? For me, it is my beloved transforming greatsword, which starts off as a normal sword, but transforms when you sheath it into the great blade on your back.
That one's pretty cool. I really like the threaded cane just because not only is it awesome, but it's got that like little flair of style. Like so many things in this game, it has like all these little touches that just give it like a bit of style. Like when he transforms it back into the cane and just like slams it on the ground.
That's my favorite.
That's
man.
really cool. Plus, there is a weapon I haven't found yet, but I've heard about and seen pictures of that sounds really cool that I'm looking forward to finding. And that is like this, it's a rapier that like transforms into a gun. That sounds really fucking cool.
So, is every weapon have a transform state?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
In
really
some
cool.
way.
Some of them will do.
when you press L1, it then does something different.
State
kind
driver is
of.
really cool.
So, like the example that I was saying earlier was the whatever that mace I got was the Tantris or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually transform, but when you press L1, it becomes
Like,
electrified,
charges
and
up,
it almost
yeah.
does double damage
Yeah.
when you use it. But then one of my favorites is the rifle spear.
Yeah.
It's really cool. When you transform it, it becomes a gun as well as the
Just
weapon.
like a rifle.
But one of my favorite things about these transforming weapons isn't just that they transform; it's that you can transform it mid-attack, and it will always do a different attack. Like there is a specific attack that is designed just for pressing L1 mid-attack. Does that make sense?
That's like
Yeah.
their
So like
transform
like the rifle spear, if you just R1 basic attack and then L1, he'll flip it, shoot. Oops, sorry, I hit the mic. He'll shoot and then do like an attack, stuff like that. Like the hammer weapon, the one that's a bladed hammer. Yeah, the Kirkwall hammer. He'll slice with his sword. He just reaches back to the hammer on his back, slams it down on the enemy, then sticks the sword in there, and you can do another. Yeah. So when you have your weapons, always try and do combos. You know, R1 L1 R1. What Lord Trapula says in chat.
This game has combos.
L1 R1 R.
That doesn't
whatever.
sound like a transforming one.
R1, L1, R1.
It is.
What?
I have not played any of this game, but from what I've seen of the game, I will have to say that my favorite transforming weapon is still Pandora from Devil May Cry 4. It had 666 different forms in the lore, but in the game it had like a dozen. You remember Pandora?
Yes, Brad. I remember Pandora.
Anyway,
That is the best transforming weapon.
in Bloodborne.
No, I
No.
don't know what that
Okay,
is.
moving on.
Question.
Jack Claxton
Oh, Jack.
asks, what is your most regrettable video game purchase? The single worst game you remember spending hard-earned money on? For me, it was Brink.
Oh,
I bought
took
Brink.
mine.
I bought Brink full price day one at midnight, with close to 400 games in my Steam library and owning many bad games.
Holy shit, Chris Davis
including
said.
Alan Wake and Jericho. Brink. It's Brink that pisses me off the most.
Whoa. Alan Wake?
Mhm.
What the fuck, Jack?
He didn't
Chris
like
Davis said X-Blades? You paid $60 for X-Blades?
Fuck that game.
um,
Yeah, Brink
say
was
60
fucking
bucks for it.
terrible.
It's just a game you essentially just regret purchasing. Like,
Honestly, my biggest regret is probably Jericho. I spent $60 on that at launch, and it was terrible.
This
I also bought Black at launch. And I did not fucking
yeah,
like that game.
a lot of people didn't like
That
Black.
sucks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna speak for
Play
the
it
site.
once.
The site's most regretful purchase at launch was 2 copies of Evolve.
Hey,
that
look,
no
Chris
one
Davis
wanted to
wants
play.
to defend Black.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say my Wii. I bought a Wii,
Oh yeah.
imported a copy of Xenoblade,
I remember that.
and picked up Skyward Sword. That's how excited I was about both of those games. I don't really like either of them, or the Wii.
Yeah, I did not care for Black.
So yeah, that might be a I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, I was really excited for Xenoblade.
I played
Yeah.
Black as well. I think I got that day one as well. I played Black, and I got through the first level, and then everything after that
A lot of
lost
people
me.
like Black.
My,
it seems.
my
That's
biggest regret, because after this I kind of stopped buying games day one unless I knew I was gonna really enjoy it. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
I see.
Tenkaichi 3, I believe. Or it was maybe the first Tenkaichi, I don't remember. One of those.
Why?
I
Chris
ended up
Davis also
hating
bought
that.
Velvet Assassin.
What the fuck are you
What
doing
is
with your
wrong
life?
with him?
Uh,
Used at a GameStop, I hope.
maybe Dirge of Cerberus.
Oh, that game.
I bought that day one, and boy, I never finished
I never played
it.
that.
I still have it. Should I try and play that?
Wasn't day one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a stealth-based World War II game, Chris Davis. Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh shit!
Did you have an answer, Nick?
He already said it.
Yeah, Jericho.
Jericho.
Okay. Oh, God.
And then our final question.
Maybe it's because you've made me feel so bad about it.
You
Brad.
should feel bad.
Yeah, I'm probably, guys in chat I'm probably thinking of Tenkaichi, the first one, because I think it was coming off the Budokai 3 hype. Because
Yeah.
Budokai 3 was amazing.
Oh wait,
and
wait,
then Tenkaichi came out, and that game was fucking
Wait,
dog shit.
wait.
What?
Battletoad in chat is right. I did buy Wet day one.
Oh.
Nice.
Wet is better than Jericho.
Yeah, it probably is. It's still pretty stupid though.
All right,
What-
moving on. Our final question for the evening. I think there were some more questions added,
Is
but
there
I
a
took the
Jericho?
questions before the final ones were added. Or at least I think I saw at least one. I actually didn't get a chance to add it to this. But it's from Pioshft.
Piocht.
How many games do you normally work on getting through at the same time? Not literally the same time, but during the same period. So I'm sure all of us probably play several. Just it's the natural way our site works that we have to play multiple games at the same time.
Brad, what are you doing?
Like right now, I'm playing at least
Brad, you can't
at least 3 games at the same time. And I think it depends on the time of year. It can be as few as 1. But usually it's at least 3.
I always try to play 2 games at a time, and I try not to go over that. But I'll tell you right now, this is very weird for me. I'm playing 5 games right now.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Total, and it's just because it's like the Titles Principle is a fucking long fucking game, so that's been eating up all my time.
I'm playing like a million games at a time.
Do you mean just games you've started
Brad,
and never
you
finished?
can't-
Because
What?
everyone be real quiet and pause for a second.
What?
No one talk. Why?
Can you mute my mic real quick?
What? Who's the fourth
Keep
one?
talking!
You just said be quiet and don't talk.
What do you
And
want
then you're
from-
like, keep talking.
It was the joke because
You're
y'all
muted.
got
Oh my
really
God.
quiet.
You're
Because
muted.
you're fucking doing shit over there.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
I'm going to go ahead and answer and say that I usually am like seriously playing 2 games at a time. I find sometimes I'll do 3, like if I'm streaming one game and then like playing a couple others like in my free time. But usually those like second or third games are going to be something like Rogue Legacy, where it's just like I don't really plan on finishing that anytime soon. Like,
well, yeah, for me, like Binding of Isaac.
Yeah.
Like I've been playing so much of that lately. Well, the past like week or 2, I've been playing less of it. But it's one of those games where if I'm ever kind of, maybe if Bloodborne's got me in a funk because like some boss kept getting me, like I'll just fucking go play some Binding of Isaac.
Sure. Yeah. But that's not a game that you're like, oh, I'm gonna have that done by next week.
No,
like, yeah, okay.
no.
Why
Not
did
at
you
all.
have me mute this?
Because I had to adjust my mic.
Can I unmute it now?
Yeah,
This fucking guy.
There had to have been a better way to go.
Yeah, this fucking guy. Anyway,
Well, everyone kind of leaned into it, like, what's happening over here?
because you're making
you
a huge
told us
fucking
not
deal.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Did everyone get that question?
Sure.
Okay.
It doesn't matter anymore. So thanks, guys, patrons, for submitting your questions. Nick will create another thread next week for you
I
to
do it every
submit,
Sunday.
more questions. Try to do it more than like right before the podcast, because I usually pull them in like the morning of the podcast.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And everyone who is a patron, no matter how much you donate, whether it's $1 or $30, whatever, you all have the ability to ask questions. Just thought I'd point that out.
It's true.
Everybody.
Yep.
Everybody.
So keep the questions coming.
Who's chatter for the week?
So, Chatter of the Week. Isn't that everyone's favorite part of the
Wait,
show?
I have one more. I have the question
Why?
right here. And it's from someone who's never asked a question before, so I thought I'd maybe throw it in there.
Okay, well,
Real
hurry
quick.
up.
It's okay.
Danielle
we got plenty of
DeGala.
time.
Danielle DeGala asks, what are your favorite, least hated game adaptations of a film, if any come to mind?
We answer this one a lot.
A game that's
Favorite
made based
and-
on a film?
Yeah.
The Warriors was really cool.
Riddick.
Riddick.
Yeah,
Chronicles of
Riddick's really fucking
Escape
good.
from Butcher Bay.
Really fucking good. I actually like the original Silent Hill film to a
what are-
degree.
Wait, did I get that back?
No, you had it the right way, Chris.
Okay.
Nick's backwards.
Okay.
I'm backwards.
Mhm.
It's like favorite game,
Game that's
on a
based
film.
on a film.
Yeah.
A film comes out and they make a game based on the film. You went the other way around.
Oh, shit.
Cool. Who's chatter for the week?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Does
honestly,
Batman count?
I can't think of
Resident
one
Evil.
off the top of my head.
Spider-Man 2 was good.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 was good.
Yeah.
So
Hard to go back to.
this is everyone's favorite part of the show. It's part of the show where we pit 2 chatters against each other in an all-out brawl of how much they love okra.
Not at all.
That's how you can tell he's really just pulling that out of his ass.
Yeah,
He's reading
I
it.
didn't come up with anything today.
Looking
It's
around.
been a long
Okra.
day. I didn't see okra. Well, I guess
Well,
if there's
it's on the
there's some
ground
right there. So this week our first chatter is Rob S. Rob is 23. He is from New Jersey, the Garden State, and his name is Snail V3 in chat.
I know that guy.
I have
Kind
seen
of. I mean, I've seen him chat.
Rob's shameful secret. I'm very ashamed. I pre-read these, so I'm very ashamed of this, but here it goes.
Oh, Lord.
After finishing Heavy Rain,
Okay.
I went back to the chapter where Madison has to strip naked for that old fat dude. Man, those character models looked so real at the time. And then he did some stuff after that. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this. That's what
my!
he said.
Oh my
I'm
lord!
not going to say
Did
anything
he?
else.
Snail.
He's not into incest.
Okay.
His greatest game
He
achievement,
did what Chris does to be working on Killer Instinct.
probably. His greatest gaming achievement. I have a friend who loves Star Fox 64, the multiplayer, and he honestly never lost. He loved to brag about it also. I've never even touched the game before, and one day after school I went to his house and played. I won the match and my friend begged me not to tell anyone. He gave me Mario Kart 64 to keep my mouth shut.
What?
I still told everyone the next day.
What the fuck is like? You keep your mouth shut about that.
Here's a bribe. And then you fucking
And then he's just
you took
like,
the
"Yeah,
game
fuck
and
it."
then fucking told everyone anyway? What a dick.
Kids are dicks.
Right?
So we know some things about Rob now.
Yeah. Rob's top 5 games of all time. Number 5, Batman.
Arkham City.
The Brave and the Bold for the Nintendo Wii.
Arkham Asylum.
Okay.
Number 4, Pokemon.
Red.
Oh,
Blue.
Rainbow. I don't.
Red or blue.
Who gives a
Red,
shit?
blue. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Red, blue, purple.
So we were both right.
Number 3, Grand Theft Auto.
Three.
Vice City.
Oh, no, San Andreas.
5.
San Andreas.
3,
Oh, okay.
Who gives
number
a
2 game of all time, Resident
Evil 4.
Evil.
Remake.
Remake.
0.
No, it's 4.
Remake. Come on.
The original on the PS1.
No, I did play that game last year, and it stands up to the test of time. It's pretty good.
In Snail V3's number 1 game of all time is Halo
ODST. Yes.
Reach.
Combat Evolved.
No, 2. Halo 2.
Halo 3.
3, okay.
Weird.
He says, I've been watching you guys since the early days. Thanks for the laughs.
Brad did not care for that list at all.
Right? Brad doesn't seem to like Snail very much.
Yeah.
And this week,
I like your
Snail
list now.
is up against Deshaun. Sean, I guess, in chat.
Deshaun!
He is from Charlotte, North Carolina. Sean, I guess, asks, or Shameful Secret.
Wait, is
rather.
his name Sean?
His name in chat is Sean, I guess. Yeah,
All right.
reading that's a little weird.
Sean, I guess.
Shameful secret. A while back, I was staying with a friend of my dad and their 3 kids. When we eventually moved out, I stole 2 of their games. Partly because they did not take care of their discs, so they were safer with me. I fucking love that excuse. You saved the discs from these children.
It's like they were small animals, and you were saving them for their own well-being.
Really, the bigger crime would have been leaving them.
Right? Because they were extremely obnoxious and the worst backseat gamers ever as well. The games in question were Blur and The Force Unleashed 2.
What?
Yeah, wow.
And because they wouldn't miss
top
them.
shelf games.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, maybe those were the best games they had, though. Sean, I guess, greatest gaming achievement, is hands down beating every level, including the DLC on N+. It was particularly a pain in the ass because the saving in N+ is dodgy sometimes, so I had to do all of the expert levels twice because it didn't save the first time. All in all, it added to my sense of achievement anyway.
He probably just didn't understand that you had to beat a whole set for it to save.
Yeah, it's true. There was a set of five levels. If you didn't finish all 5 of them, it wouldn't save anything you'd just done.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Sean, I guess, top 5 games of all time. Number 5,
Ops.
Mindgate Conspiracy.
Ops. Yeah. Number 4, Final Fantasy.
9.
I would say 8.
Who cares?
Brad's being a dick.
Psyops. It's this couch, man. I feel like
Then sit on the fucking floor.
Like the couch just made
the couch have turned me into like a
bastard.
monster. No, I'm saying Psyops is not the first top 5 that. It's not the first top 5 we have heard Psyops on.
Okay.
Which is a little strange because that's kind of.
Psyops was a fun game. Oh,
Final
okay,
Fantasy.
Brad, it's not.
Tactics.
10. You're dumb. Number 3, Mirrors.
Edge. Okay.
Of Radiance.
Edge. Number 2, The Last
Of Us.
Guardian. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do it.
of Us. Well, if you people would fucking hurry up. And his number 1 game of all time is Half-Life
2, of course.
Blue Shift.
2.
2.
Yeah.
Couch Brad thinks it's blue shit.
He says he's going to be that guy and say he doesn't really chat a lot, but he's watched for about 7 years.
Holy
Thank you,
shit.
Sean, I guess.
That's a long time to
once
watch
again,
and
we
not
have
chat.
Snail V versus Sean, I guess. Snail V's ashamed of what he did to Heavy Rain. He beat his friend at Star Fox 64 multiplayer, and his top 5 games were Arkham Asylum, Pokemon Red or Blue, Grand Theft Auto 3, Resident Evil Original, and Halo 3. Up against Sean, I guess, who Shameful Secret was saving games from his dad's friends' kids, beating M+ every level, and Psyops, Final Fantasy X, Mirror's Edge, Last of Us, and Half-Life 2.
Well, I'm going to go with Sean, I guess, because 1, he has an awesome name.
Yeah.
2, his list is pretty damn good. And he stole games from children for the sake of the games. Not because he wanted to play them.
I'm going to vote Sean because he sounds like he doesn't suck.
Crispy?
I'm going to vote for the first guy.
Snail V?
For Snail V, because
I like Snail V.
that list. I think that was a pretty solid list.
What was the list? Name 3 of the games.
Batman Arkham Asylum, Halo 3,
Sorry, go.
Can you name 3 of the games, Brad?
Pokemon Red and Blue, which would probably be on my top 10 list of all time somewhere. And
Hey, Sean, I guess, is in chat!
Oh.
nice.
Hey, Sean, I guess.
Hey, it's like the first thing he's typed in 7 years, but hey!
It was that jerky thing that he did in A Shameful Secret that rubbed me the wrong way.
What, Snail V3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He punched a kid?
You weren't listening at all.
I just don't remember.
No. Snail
Heavy
V3
Rain
is the
thing.
guy, the Heavy Rain. You watched that.
Not the
scene.
Shameful Secret. There's his asshole thing of his life. Don't they do that?
What?
What are you
Do
talking
you even fucking listen
Where
to these?
are you?
Brad is so
He said
drunk
some
right
really
now.
rude thing.
Brad can't sit on the couch anymore.
I need a
You
pillow.
gotta fucking go back to the chair.
I need a pillow. Look at me. I'm laying back here splayed out.
Brad
like
needs a fucking
Thanksgiving
timeout
turkey.
chair.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, I gave it to Snail.
All right. Well, I give it to Sean, I guess. I give it to him good. And because of that, you are the winner. Sean, I guess, congratulations. You won the win. You are this week's chatter.
I think Brad
of
is
the
high
week.
right now. Look what is going on.
Like, he can't sit still. He's all fidgety and stuff.
Well, it's 'cause I can't.
If you would like to be chatter of the week, all you have to do is go to 4playernetwork.com. There's a big old box that says chatter of the week. Click on that and write in your diddly-do, and you could be chatter of the week.
You could be.
Yep.
If you want to be.
Hey, what are y'all's opinions on Billy Madison?
It's
What
a
the
good
fuck?
movie.
Are
It's
you
all right.
talking about, Brad?
You should go back and watch it. That movie sucks.
Yeah,
What?
can't
I have
imagine
this
it
fear,
held up.
like, so
Dude, it's definitely Adam Sandler fucking humor, which is not the best humor in the world.
I'm just
Most
worried-
of his movies are
I
poopy.
kind of don't want to see Happy Gilmore again because that's the one sacred thing I have from my childhood of Adam Sandler, and I'm worried that if I see that and it sucks, Adam Sandler was never ever funny.
He wasn't. He was funny because you were young and you thought it was
he
funny.
was a product of his time. And
Exactly.
We're getting the big red light that we need to move on.
Oh, how much time do we
We
have?
have 18 minutes exactly.
Okay.
Well, that's just enough time for my
Just
4-player.
enough time.
That's just enough for Brad's 4-player minute. Oh, look, Snail's in chat too. Look what you did, Brad.
Snail.
I voted for you, Snail.
Okay, I'm sorry, Snail. My fuck you of the week goes to Snail. I mean, goes to me for being mean to Snail. My thank you for the week goes to Snail
And you
for
still-
being a long-time community member and doing that thing with Heavy Rain and punching the kid.
Brad is, I think Brad, did you smoke something
That's
during the break?
not at all accurate.
It's like the blood is going to the back of my head because of the way I'm sitting on this couch, and that's like the part of my brain that activates asshole couch Brad.
You are the only person having problems with this.
Okay. My fuck you for the week, my thank you for the week goes to Konami.
Great, we gotta get rid of the couches now.
No, just Brad. Brad just has to sit on a chair.
We have to get rid of Brad.
All right.
We got to put him down.
My sweat goes for Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain because that game's not done. It's not done. But shit has gone down at Konami. Do we have to worry?
No, dude.
I'm worried.
Dude, if that game's not ready at this point.
Dude, I bought that fucking collector's edition. It better be good. Holy fuck.
You and your collector's editions. Download
What are you talking about? I never buy collector's editions.
Yeah, he's got a point.
Oh, okay.
Brad,
and my hype is for The Witcher 3.
I think Brad has lost his talking.
Playing
privileges.
Pillars of Eternity.
What was the feature?
Playing Pillars of Tournament
Tell us what you're really thinking, Brad.
has has made me a little worried. I mean, has made me excited to play a Western RPG with a big ass budget because Pillars of Eternity ain't that. And my fuck you for the week goes to that new character. I'm speaking for all the Filipino people out there who are pissed about this new character in Tekken. They're like they were so happy that they were finally going to get a Filipino character in Tekken, and her name is Josie, and they're all like, what the fuck? She doesn't look Filipino at all. She's not even using the Filipino fighting style. What the fuck is this shit? So, I'll fuck you for them.
Brad, tell me one thing about the Philippines.
There's a character from in Tekken 7 named Josie.
Nope.
Who's based on a Filipino fighter.
Nope.
They used yo-yos in combat?
No.
No, the yo-yo was
Who's
eventually...
the most famous person out of the Philippines?
Guys, what is
No, wait,
happening?
continue that fact.
What is happening?
I knew
right
a
now?
kid in my elementary school named PJ.
That sounds like a Filipino
He
name.
was Filipino. I think my friend Horace was Filipino.
Like, looking back on my childhood, there were so many
Gone.
Filipinos that I didn't realize they
Oh my
were that.
God.
Because I didn't know what a Filipino was until, like, high school.
Holy shit, Brad.
What is this, Tekken what?
Did you smoke
Tekken
a ball
7.
or something?
Dude, honestly, I think that whatever this fucking candy he's eating, it's gone bad for some reason.
Y'all need to hurry up so y'all can try this
Getting
IKEA
food
candy.
poison.
Brad, put down the bag. Hey, is it my turn? I'm
Yes.
not used to
We
going
don't
in
have
this
enough
order.
time.
Yeah, Nick, we'll go.
I'm not used to
that
going in this
direction.
order. Holy shit, Brad. My hype is to play more Bloodborne because compared to all of you guys, I've barely scratched the surface and I've been thinking about this game pretty much nonstop. So I'm very much looking forward to playing more of that. My fuck you of the week goes to Konami for being, not necessarily for what's going down over there, because we don't really know what the hell's going down over there, but seriously, fuck you guys for staying so quiet about it and just being real shady about it. It seems really weird, and they're giving all this like ridiculous robot speak, like canned answers. It's just terrible. It's just really egregious, and I hate it. So fuck you guys. My sweat. Fuck, I don't know what my sweat is. My sweat is whether I'm going to be able to finish Bloodborne before The Witcher comes out, because I'm going to go from, or maybe even, can I finish Bloodborne before Dark Souls 2 comes out on the PS4? I'm going to jump right out of the frying pan into the fire. It's going to be ridiculous. And my thank you of the week goes to...
Snail. Thank you for sticking around despite the bullying from Brad.
Thank you, Snail.
Thank you, Snail.
Is Kalasara? Is that a Filipino last name?
It could be, yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
They did use yo-yos, Nolan.
Okay.
Don't act like you know everything about Filipinos. They have egg rolls called
Yes, go on.
empanada?
Not at all. Not in the slightest.
Something like that?
Nope.
Their currency is pesos.
It's a form of peso, yeah.
Filipino peso.
That is
Yeah.
where
Philippines.
the dude died. Magellan. He almost died. He did
Magellan the
die.
Dragon?
What is happening? What the fuck is
I'm
happening?
gelling. Are you gelling?
Brad, I believe the food you were looking for is called lumpia.
Lumpia. Empanadas, lumpia, same shit.
No. No, it's not.
No, they're not.
Nolan?
You don't know who the most famous person out of the Philippines is? He's pretty fucking
Manny
famous.
Pacquiao?
The Rock?
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao.
Who's also like a senator or something?
Yeah, he's
That was close.
he's pound for pound the best fighter in the world, and he's also a
In the
senator in the
Senate.
Philippines.
Could he
And
beat
he's
The
also
Rock?
a singer.
Could he beat The Rock?
he's
who's
the-
also part Filipino?
He's like
part-
he's like 5'3".
He's part
He
Pacific
could beat the
Islander.
fuck out of you.
Mal, or
Maybe.
He could beat the fuck out of most of us.
What? I would be really offended at Brad. Why would he be offended at you?
Anyway,
Anyway, moving on.
I'm just gonna say, if there was somebody in Tekken from my Irish heritage and he didn't have
You're
red,
not. You're fucking Irish heritage. Come on, that's some fucking bullshit.
if he didn't have red hair, I'd be pissed.
you're
What's
as
the last-
Irish as Irish Spring.
What's the last person in your family from Ireland?
Scottish. I'm sorry, I got him.
What's the last person in your family from Scotland?
Who?
Guys,
How many greats? How many greats?
Great. I don't know.
You're not fucking Irish.
Fucking...
By
Can
that regard, I'm Native American because how many fucking greats away somewhere in there? One of my fucking.
If there was a Scottish character in Tekken for my heritage and he didn't have a kilt, I'd be pissed off.
By that many greats, I'm just as related to an Irishman as I am to fucking Daniel Boone.
Is it
We have 10 minutes.
my turn?
Let me go real quick.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I didn't. I just was mouthing off to Brad about the Philippines. I did make some pancit the other day, and it was delicious. My hype is for more Senran Kagura Shinovi verses. I really, yeah, exactly. I kind of want to. I want to see how far down this rabbit hole I can go. It's. I don't know. I just want to see where it goes. The funny thing is in this game, there's a lingerie lottery. And you get money from doing these story missions and battles, and you can go to like a lottery machine and you put in money, and it comes out with a random like undergarment.
Lingerie?
Yeah.
Nice.
Don't you mean how far down the underage girl butthole?
But the funny thing is it's like there's a scale. It's like the bottom one's like meh.
That
for like the
didn't need
lingerie,
context.
and it goes up to like nice and very nice and sexy and hot. And the top one is climactic.
Of course it is.
And I put in the minimum number of money you can put in every time.
We did.
What?
Snail's the one who sent that game.
The fucking.
Oh, the DS
He sent the
Sonic game?
DS Sonic game.
He's trying to bribe you.
I think I couldn't feature it in Brad Petite because you can't eat a DS game.
You
But
can
Snell
try.
I don't know. They're pretty
You
small.
can
I
try.
bet you can pass
I could
that.
probably put in a sandwich. Snell sent us a Sonic collection.
of the DS.
Moving on, my sweat is for these fucking Nintendo coins and surveys. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get in the last of mine tonight. I'll try when I get home, but we'll see what happens. My fuck you goes to Bloodborne because I've lost a lot of souls to some I don't fucking know. Like the weird thing in this is souls don't always stay where you left them. Sometimes enemies will pick them up.
Is that annoying?
Yeah, because sometimes it's like I found my souls eventually, but it was an enemy who took them, who was a stationary enemy, like fucking like half a mile away from where I died. And I really didn't understand why he had them. But
Can you see them though?
No. So either
Yeah,
there's a soul stain on the ground, or their eyes will be glowing blue if they have them. And all you have to do is kill them. And honestly, I don't know. I almost wish they always got picked up by enemies, just because you'd always be able to find them easier. I don't know. But enemies that are fucking right by where they were dropped, not a million miles away. That was my fuck you, and my thank you goes to Davey. A chatter community member. He sent me an email inviting me to share play his Senran Kagura Estival verses that he imported from Japan. It's not out yet. And
Share play.
Yeah,
I forgot that was even a thing.
PlayStation 4 has share play now, and you can play each other's games. And so I might check that out to see if when that game gets westernized, I might pick that up.
Cool.
Yep.
Crispy.
Okay.
Please.
My-
Save the sinking ship.
My thank you this week goes to Snail because he put up with a lot of abuse today. So thank you for sticking around. My hype is for Batman Arkham Knight. Holy fuck. They just put out that new gameplay trailer, like, what was that, a week ago?
Yeah.
That shit was so badass. Oh my god. I can't wait. It's gonna be so good. My sweat is, I'm getting really fucking, like, antsy waiting for some sort of indication of when No Man's Sky is gonna come out. Like, what the fuck's going on? They've been dark for a while now. I mean, it hasn't been that long, I guess, but I was expecting, like, you know, May or something, which is next month now.
Yeah.
So I hope we hear something soon.
There was
a
a-
month and a day.
There was that Microsoft dude who was like, "Hey, we would love to have No Man's Sky on Xbox One," and he said, "Hey, developers, stop reading NeoGAF. You know, like, we actually do want you guys."
Oh yeah.
Brett, can I have some of those? They seem to
Yeah,
be
no,
doing
this is
something to
why I
you.
brought them, so y'all can all try them.
And my fuck you for the week goes to NPC hunters in Bloodborne because they're all dicks and they're not very fun to fight. Especially the dude with the blunderbuss who just sits there and, like, pumped out 100 rounds at me in the same
Right?
fight. That
Fuck
was
that guy.
ridiculous. I had to cheese that so hard. It was ugh. Anyway, whatever. Fuck that guy.
Crispy.
It just tastes like licorice.
Does it?
Yeah.
Do y'all like licorice?
It just tastes like regular fucking licorice with like a hint of a tinge of something.
Salt.
LSD? I don't know.
Salt. Oh, pot.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely taste the pot.
Oh my god, guys. You guys are stressing
It
me
is
out.
kind of fucking salty.
You guys are
Ugh.
stressing me out.
This is it, Nick. Eat the pot licorice and let's wrap this.
Join
shit up.
us, Nick.
No.
Join us.
I don't want any.
It's just licorice from IKEA.
I don't want any part of what the hell Brad's been smoking today.
Bruh,
Told
what the fuck? The square ones are fine, but the cylinder ones are fucking weird.
That's what I had, and
Ugh.
it's so fucking salty.
Ugh.
What are the
Eat
square
a square
ones?
one. Ugh.
All right, guys, wait. Can you put that on hold for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
just,
yeah, these
or
ones
just
are fine.
or just bite into it. That's fine too.
Sorry. I just had.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop this show right now before it gets any further out of control. Because what the fuck just happened? I have no
It's
idea.
officially the first couch episode. That's what it is.
Thank God,
The podcasting couch.
guys.
See? It's the licorice!
Guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna have to have a talk with these fools. I don't know what's going on. Holy crap. Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. I did. Oh, there was one other small announcement. If you are a patron, we just want to let you know that you can also, if you're a $5 patron or higher, you can access the supporter content page on the website. That is a new feature. You can do that now. And also, 4playernetwork.com is the website. And of course, watch us broadcast games every single night at 4pp.tv. You should all be watching us at 4pp.tv using that sweet new theater mode.
Definitely.
It is the best way to watch us, and it helps us out at the same time. So please do that. And I think that's going to do it, guys. I got to get out of here before these guys get any weirder than they
Hold
already
them
are.
down!
You should try one.
Fuck
The
you guys.
casting couch.